I don't
know how you get mad about
because I heard you saying that to Joey too. Here's why I got mad. So yes, accidentally left the bottle
open.
Okay,
Open.
They're always open.
Okay.
Around electrical equipment.
No lid to be seen.
I want to first point out
on a water bottle.
I respect the hell out of you both for the bit of being like, we're just gonna leave this awkwardly.
That's right.
Bottle.
We're like a dog parent who brings the dog in and stuffs their nose into it.
Okay,
look at this.
So
I didn't go all weekend without moving.
Great question.
Haber actually has some rolled up newspaper, and he's gonna come by and pop you on the head.
So, hand up. I think that was just from the morning, and just was there, and I never picked it up.
Oh yeah, you left it right here from the crossover.
First time in a while that I've done that. Hand up, been better. Okay. So obviously, I walk in here and I get shamed for doing that. No problem.
That was what was supposed to happen.
No issue. But then here is my issue.
I don't understand your problem with this either.
Okay. I pick up the bottle. Trash. I'm not going to drink it. I'm not going to consume it.
No. Important note here. It is a full water bottle.
It is not full up to the top. There was a
3/4,
at least
70%,
4/5
full. Okay,
I'd say closer to 4/5.
No, not 4/5. It was 70% full. All right,
pretty big difference between 70 and
there is.
All right, let's just split the difference at 75.
All right, here's a great barometer. You know, you have the label on the water bottle, right? It was drank to about just under the top.
That's
of the
fine.
label.
You can have 70.
Okay,
that's fine.
So I take the bottle and I put it in the trash.
The 70%
the
full.
70% full water. I just throw it away, and you would have thought I shot somebody. You're like, oh my god, how could you're just gonna throw that away?
Do you have a trash can at your house?
Yes, I do.
Do you put water into it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I take out the trash.
Do you have the smelliest house on earth?
At least once a day, the trash is taken out. Okay, at least probably we're averaging more so towards twice because we have a smaller trash bin. So I throw it out, and then eventually, I pick it up and I throw it away. We have hefty trash bags; it doesn't leak.
Okay, so you could understand though.
Shout out hefty.
That might save you in this situation. Do you understand why it might not be good practice to put a full water bottle into a trash can?
Not a full water bottle.
A full uncapped water bottle.
I think there's a very important distinction here where if you would have had the cap put back on it, that wouldn't have happened.
I would have had no opinion whatsoever.
Yeah, nobody. I understand why it might be looked at as bad practice. It's just of my opinion. You can put liquid in the trash. There's nothing wrong with it.
And it likely will be okay, but it's not good practice.
To look at me as like I am like the worst human ever, like it was, where both you and Joey were like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. To then pivot and say, well, you can do it, but it isn't the nicest, is a little ridiculous.
Well,
how you guys react.
More process over result, perhaps.
This is a communal trash can.
I threw it. Like
we all have to live with this trash can.
First off, it's not as if I dumped the water bottle into the trash can fully up and over. All right, I threw it in there. Not all the liquid is going to hit.
There's a wet banana peel in there. Gross. That banana peel would just be a banana peel.
It's a trash bag.
You can throw away liquids in the trash. It's fine. It's meant to soak it up. It's meant where you take it off and you throw it in the trash.
I understand that some people probably feel the same way that you do. I just don't make it a habit at my house to throw liquid away.
I'm more so upset at the shaming that was done after I did that, as if that
was compounding. It was compounding the issue. The issue was that you left the capless water bottle here full over the weekend
around electrical equipment.
You're the only one adding that cap.
I mean, it seems like it matters.
It's important.
You're the only one making that point.
It's important.
It does seem like it matters. I don't know.
What if we had all come back and the water bottle was tipped over and all the stuff didn't work anymore?
We have your wife has commented.
My wife. What'd she say?
Recycling the water bottle would be good too.
It would be.
My mom gets very mad at me because I sometimes don't throw away the plastic in the recycling. She gets very upset.
Probably could have found a plant to water with the leftover water.
What a great take.
We don't have plants here.
This is
That's true. Nor do we have recycling, I don't think, either.
when I like clean out my car and there's the like 4 water bottles that are down to like probably less than 10% water, but didn't get finished, and they just fallen under the seat, and you finally clear that all out.
Uh-huh.
I do go out to like the closest plant that I can find. I
Yeah.
just dump those all out in there.
I take them out in the front yard. I just start going like this, dumping them out.
I was hoping you were driving around your neighborhood. You find a kid who makes a shot, then you run up on him. You start splashing him with water.
Is it bad practice to dump that stuff out in a parking lot?
No.
Okay. That's what I do.
Assuming it's just water.
No. Oh, no. I'm not just. No.
What is it? Powerade?
Monster energy drinks.
You dump out Monster energy drinks?
Well, because I have some in the car. So I have to.
How many cup holders
Do
do you
those
have?
2.
And they're full at all times with
Yeah.
Monster energy drinks.
Yes. And then the side compartments.
which I assume has your spitter and everything else.
Yeah. Essentially.
Unbelievable.
Not spitter. I only dip during baseball games.
You strike me as someone that would have a spitter in your car for sunflower seeds and for chewing tobacco.
No, I don't do sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds, I'm not a fan. They're kind of pointless to me. They're
definitely pointless.
Or they cut up the side of my mouth.
Except for the fact they
I don't
taste
know
good.
that they exist to
Yeah.
have this wide-ranging point.
That's a good point.
Do
but-
sunflower seeds have a point?
Yeah, they actually
Full
do.
question.
Full
They
question.
can cut up the side of your mouth, and then like you're just sucking sodium. This is what you're doing. You're just
Definitely.
trying to get salt in, and so
I would describe most of the food that I
yeah, but in this
You're
case,
just sucking sodium.
they're just in your mouth for forever, and then they get soggy and damp and wet, and
Not
then like
really.
and then
It's not.
And then-
it's not like.
and then it's work to actually eat, and then like when you do eat them, talk about sunflower seeds. Holy crap, that guy's whoever that pitch is, he's chewing.
Oh yeah, and that's Haney.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's Joe Girardi.
and then you go ahead and like you get minimal reward for all the work that you do when it comes to sunflower.
Yeah, I
seeds.
just don't need a reward.
I've never eaten sunflower seeds, and I'm like, whoa, I'm full. Like, no, I'm not.
Again, I don't know
pointless to
that
me.
that's what they're intended.
What do you get from chewing gum?
I don't chew gum. I get nothing from it. I get the.
So you want a reward every time you eat food.
if I'm gonna put something in my
Classic Gen.
look, if I'm gonna put something in my mouth, all right, I either want to be buzzed off of it or I want to be full after it. There's one or the other.
Wow.
You know, I either
You can't just like mindlessly,
absolutely
I
not.
feel like that
thoughtlessly eat
just
something.
needs to be
No.
clipped and saved for later. That entire, the phrasing, all of it.
If
you walked a dangerous tightrope.
If,
there.
no. I mean, I'm
Let me
just
think
saying.
of another food that is just mindless and
There-
pointless.
There's no point to it. What's the point of gum? All gum does is make me dehydrated. All sunflower
Peanuts,
seeds.
like baseball park peanuts.
See, I can get kind of. I
There's a lot
can
more
get
work than
There's some
that.
satiated.
substance there.
I can
though.
get satiated off of that, you know, and I think they're delicious.
You
They
got to
taste
work
great.
for pistachios, or are you going to?
I don't eat them
for pistachios.
Don't eat pistachios. Don't
No.
do it.
Do you use
Pointless.
like Listerine?
No, I don't.
That makes sense.
I don't. What's the? I already brushed.
What are
my
your
teeth.
thoughts on mints?
Don't do them.
He's being truthful in all this. We're trying to
no.
find a hole in this logic, and
Yeah.
I can't find it.
You know what? Like,
What about toothpicks?
so I do use toothpicks, but that's the point. It gets the plaque out of my teeth.
Okay.
So I grab a napkin
I
and
can see you walking around with like a bag of plackers.
see. Here's the thing, though. You know what? I know people who do that, the little like flossing thing.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
like
yeah.
walk. Yeah, no,
I
I'm
love
not.
those.
I'm not that weird. Like that's strange to me.
You have it in your like little zip up pocket over here on the side. You'd have like 4 plackers.
It's a great broadcaster thing to have in your backpack with the mints and the gum and, the pens.
I carry hot sauce in my backpack, but
Doesn't seem like a broadcaster thing.
just
Do you put the cap on the hot sauce, or do you?
no,
chance
they're in
factor?
packets. I
That's a Cuban
specifically,
thing.
yeah, I specifically do packets. Yeah, no, I don't have a mini Cholula bottle. Here's the thing I don't like the guys who walk around with the toothpicks like they're cool, like they're like in Greece or whatever. I do toothpicks for effectiveness, so I grab 2 toothpicks and a napkin, and then I go ahead and I plaque it out.
So when you leave a restaurant, you'll get a couple of toothpicks and you'll leave the mint.
I don't do the mint
You don't take the mint.
at all. No, never.
This is a Seinfeld episode.
Two,
Basically.
two.
Don't take the mint.
You don't take the mint.
You don't take the mint.
I
Jerry,
don't see the
Jerry,
point to the mint.
Jerry, what's the point of the mint? All right, I just go home and brush my teeth, Jerry. But The plaque. You gotta get the plaque.
How many Seinfeld episodes have you watched?
5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I watched one this weekend. Matt, you would not have understood it.
It's okay.
The whole point of the episode was that George left a series of mildly like threatening messages on a woman's answering machine and had to go into her apartment and change the tape for the answering machine before she would listen to them. And it turned out that she had already heard the messages anyway and didn't care.
Okay.
You know about answering machines?
I think people are so crazy nowadays that doesn't affect me. You know, like there are just people do so many stupid and dumb and wild things where it's like leaving mildly threatening like things on a voicemail are kind of the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, but the point of the show is like it's such a small thing, and only George whipped himself into a shoot to care about this.
Okay,
you know,
I'm sure
a small aggrieved moment becomes an entire episode in life.
I feel like Seinfeld is one of those shows where it's just much better watched as opposed to described.
100%.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel bad even describing it.
Yeah, it doesn't do it justice. I'm sure like it's a great episode and it's very funny.
It was a fine episode.
Yeah,
it's not like it doesn't sit high.
Out of 6, what would you rate it?
Out of 6?
Yeah.
Why out of 6?
I'm just being comedic.
It got Josh.
Yeah. Out of 6.
On all like on a Seinfeld scale or like a TV scale?
On a Seinfeld scale.
Like 3.5.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's like a 6.4 out of 10. I gotcha.
So you instead of doing a 10 scale, you do a 6 scale, take it times 2, and then add randomly a 0.2, even though you'd be out of 12 at this point. But then you get rid of the 2 on the top.
That's the point.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to like make it divisible up to 30 and then fraction it down.
Schaefer, I like to keep people on their toes. I just like to keep people guessing.
I think you're going for like a 70 grade, like a pro scouting scale.
A little, yeah. I would like that.
I can respect that. I genuinely do similar.
Can you imagine me being on a date and being like, "How's that wine? Oh, it's good. Give me a pro scouting grade on that. What is it? Is that an 80? 80 is like the best."
Yeah, if you were like, all right, so here's how this works.
Yeah.
I just had a 55 grade steak.
There you go.
Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? No. I know. 55 sounds bad. Honestly, 55 out of 100 sounds really bad.
55 is pretty above
like you don't
average.
get it. It's out of 70.
Yeah.
She would immediately pretend to take a phone call. You would not see her.
No. So try. Well, I think this is like a 30. Is it good? Yeah, it's really good. No. We got to go higher. If it's good, you're about a 45 to a 50. Okay.
You could be like a recurring character on Seinfeld, I think. Like Matt McMaster would be a great recurring character on Seinfeld.
You'd be somehow like a cross between Kramer and Newman in a way.
I think Jerry would hate me. I think that would be my character.
You would have the antics of Kramer, but you would annoy Jerry immensely.
Yeah,
that's where the cross comes.
Like I'm not funny enough and ridiculous enough to entertain Jerry. So Jerry, just like Kramer's like funny and ridiculous, but he's ridiculous because he entertains Jerry. So Jerry likes him.
Jerry hates most of the male characters that aren't in his friend group in that show.
Yeah, so I think he would hate me. He would hate me for sure, but it would be funny. It'd be funny. I'd be like the fantasy football guy he would hate.
Honestly, maybe you're not even a cross between those. You might just be Banya. Could it be Kenny Banya?
Kenny Banya.
Gold, Jerry, it's gold.
Similar energy.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I can see that.
Just randomly boisterous.
Oh, this is going over my head. But I'm fine. I'm having a good time.
We're going to get the kids to watch Seinfeld. Nick won't do it. We kind of want you to. We don't want you to spark notes it.
I'm surprised Nick won't do it.
Nick is against it on principle at this point.
The principle being?
Being that we tell him that it's good and he doesn't believe us.
See, I don't respect that.
Also, he called it like misogynist at one point.
Oh. Comedy peaked in 2019. Everyone knows this.
He called it misogynist.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of like, of course it is. But it's a joke.
A different woman every week.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Friends does? Like, that was my problem with Friends, watching Friends. Season 3.
It's not nearly as funny.
Well, I don't know. I enjoyed Friends very much so. But seasons 3 and 4 were essentially just every episode they went on a date. Like every episode, one of the friends was going on a date with a different ridiculous human, and then they were all reacting to it. And I just was like, this is
pretty much Seinfeld.
But I was like, this is just a little uncreative, you know? But I do
There's always
appreciate
like the C story in the episode.
The-
Jerry's girlfriend and something weird happens
the
with
thing, though. I would appreciate
She has this one thing.
the one thing
it.
I would,
Hands.
the one thing I do appreciate though about Seinfeld is that you have the Larry David effect, where there's just a ridiculous, stupid thing
In
that's
that-
going on within the episode because it's Larry David.
In that particular episode with the voicemail, it was she really liked that commercial. And Jerry couldn't believe how she liked the commercials. You like that commercial? Come on.
So yeah, that's
I don't
why
remember what the commercial was about.
that's the one thing that Friends doesn't have that Seinfeld does is that they just don't have Larry David. Like there's just not a
It's
niche.
just not as funny.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be able to fully tell you the 5 episodes of Seinfeld I watched as a kid when I was sick, back in like 2013, and you're on like MeTV, and it's just they have a Seinfeld
If you would commit
marathon.
to like 4 more episodes of Seinfeld, and between Happer, Josh, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Josh is in.
Josh Hodson.
Yep.
We all picked a different episode for you to watch.
I would do that.
Would you do it?
I would do that.
Like
would
we
totally do that.
created you a season of television of just like Seinfeld.
Oh man.
Like-
yes.
I actually kind of love this idea.
Yeah, this is a
now.
great idea.
You created me a Seinfeld season.
Yeah.
So I would watch.
How many total episodes are
12.
we talking though?
I would do 12. I
So
would do
everybody would have 3 picks.
4.
The Seinfeld draft.
Well, no, Josh Peterson would want to be involved.
Yeah, the
in that.
Seinfeld draft. We would have a Seinfeld draft, and then
we could go somewhere and have a big salad and then have the Seinfeld draft.
That's a Seinfeld reference.
see, I wouldn't get it.
But you might have to watch that episode.
No
then.
Well, you
soup-
wouldn't need to
no
be
soup
there
for
for
you.
the draft. The draft would just be amongst those that are drafted.
Well, this would have to be on the air. This would obviously have to be an on-air thing.
Okay.
And we would now. What would happen is that all of you would have to pick. You would all go down the line of an episode that you would like.
I'm
me to
already
watch.
imagining the size of my big board, and I get like 3 choices, but there's probably like 25 episodes right
It's-
off the top of my head.
It's
that I'd wanna
funny
start with.
because you have to tailor it somehow to Matt, which is
Very hard,
Oh.
probably.
yeah. Or maybe you're not thinking about that.
Schaefer.
No. I don't think it'd be that hard because you could get Putty involved and you could get it to Matt pretty quickly.
That's true.
So bringing it full
We're
circle.
cool, Tony.
Is there a point to
You like
Seinfeld?
Uncle Leo?
Is there a point to Seinfeld? Like, is there
No.
like at any point it gets serious or like somebody dies or it's
Jerry.
Uncle Leo.
like at any point?
Hello.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop asking questions.
No, there's no point. At the end, they go to jail.
What?
Spoiler.
They commit fraud?
Kind of. It's like Crimes Against Humanity.
Kind of regarded as like a horrendous season finale or
Yeah.
series finale. Like people hated it at the time. And now
Okay.
I think it's switched to where over time people have appreciated what they were doing.
So my next question is like I just feel like every time we talk about series finales, are there good series finales? Because I feel like every series
Breaking Bad
finale
did a
Breaking
good
Bad
job
was
with
we're
great.
it.
talking about, I know that one. Yeah, I know what
I
happened.
thought Friday Night Lights did a nice job with theirs.
Okay. But like, what do you think about Sopranos? Because that's when I've sparked notes. Which, by the way, I was watching the Patrick Dempsey forgetting a memory of a killer last night.
Why did you feel the need to spark notes?
It just popped up on my YouTube shorts, and then now I get to
But
say
it's
Christopher, and like
it's
everybody
a good
thinks
enough
I know
show
what I'm
that
talking
you
about.
should just watch the
Just watch
show.
Christopher Columbus is a hero.
It goes pretty quick.
He's a brave Italian
It didn't-
explorer.
It didn't make you want to watch the show, though.
You know what? My dad.
You got all this newfound time on your hands?
Sopranos.
My dad sat me down. He was on a HBO Sopranos marathon, and him and I, it was probably the closest father-son bonding we've had in some time.
Wow.
And we just sat down for 6 hours, and we just watched The Sopranos, and we caught a couple good episodes where the sister kills the husband. Caught that one.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen it.
We caught the one where.
But I also don't say that I've seen
What
it
is
to
it, Piggy
people.
or Porky, the fat Italian guy who was on a wire? He gets. They dump him out on a boat.
Sal.
They kill Sal, and he's like, not in the face.
Oh, I know which one you're saying. I'm just not saying that.
You
on
like
air.
iCarly?
Yeah,
You give me a Gibby vibe.
I didn't want to change the subject, but your wife,
Yeah, I've
My
seen
wife.
iCarly.
Your wife.
don't get Connor started on iCarly.
Yeah, well, I do like iCarly.
What
yeah.
do you get started in a good way?
I'm
or
not
a
sure
bad
what
way?
she's referencing there, but I really like it. I liked the show.
Ian, okay, wait, I have a problem. Ian goes, spoiler alert, damn, The Sopranos has been out forever, okay? No
Maybe you're
more.
just talking about Seinfeld, where they all go to jail at the end.
That could be
I don't think that's a
because that's
spoiler.
been out
I don't
even
care.
longer.
I don't give a damn. Here's the thing. If you're complaining about spoiler alerts for things that have been out for longer than 5 years, if you've been talking about spoiler alerts for things that have been out longer than 3 years, get out of my face. All right? Get out of my face.
Get out of his face.
It's been 3 years. You can watch it. All right? You've had ample amount of time. I can talk about it.
You don't want to just throw a little warning shot out there like,
No,
hey, what I'm about
no.
to say is pretty sensitive information.
If it's been 10 years and you haven't gotten on The Sopranos yet, when are you? I'm not gonna. I have to wait for you now
The
to
only thing
finally
that
start a thing you clearly have had the time to start, but you clearly don't want to start. But yet you're claiming you want to watch it one day. Well, then watch it. You have all the tools to do it.
The only thing that I know very well about that show is that it ended somewhat controversially. I don't know anything about
A lot of ambiguity.
I've
with
heard
the
a lot of different stories about a lot of different episodes and things that happen. It's all in one ear and out the
I
other
don't-
because I haven't seen the show.
I don't think it's ambiguous at all. I think it's very clear what happened to me when I saw the ending.
Fascinating you would say that when the creator
Cue the ambiguity.
when the creator has said multiple times that it's sort of up to the interpretation of the viewer.
No, I think the director's wrong. I think it's very clear what happened. I think it's very clear what happened to Tony in that diner.
Can we just like rename this from the crossover to Matt Has Takes?
Yes, I think actually that's the name of the show.
Yeah, it really could just be Matt Has Takes.
What takes? I mean, this is really these crossovers are just you two who are very well thought out, sounded, well-minded individuals trying to discover more about what goes on in my cranium.
Mhm.
It's really what this turns into.
It's a little wordy. I
I-
would call it that, but
And, well, it's very Matt McMaster if it's wordy.
I was up in South Dakota this weekend and was visiting with someone who listens to the show daily. And he was telling me that the crossovers are essentially Connor and I complaining about how you live your life and you trying to explain to us why all the poor decisions you make are justified.
But how many poor decisions do I really make?
Well, the traffic ticket or the
That was
parking
a
ticket.
tie-
water
yeah, that
bottle
was-
in the trash can.
Okay, that first off, that's justified. You can put liquids in a trash bin. All right, get out of here.
It's not good practice.
The ticket was more so me trying to stick it to the man, and then John Bishop being like, "No, you don't want to deal with collecting services. Just go ahead and pay a kid." You know, and that's what happened there. Okay, this one is just I only dip in baseball games.
Oh yeah, sunflower seeds are pointless.
They're pointless.
I forgot about that one.
Well, when I put a dip in, I get
The sunflower
Yeah.
seeds are pointless, and David Chase knows less about his show than I do.
What is so ambiguous? He
We should come up with a take list at the end of every crossover. Like, here are the takes that Matt had.
I told
today.
you we need a takes bracket, and then people can vote on like the worst one that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Everyone has their region, and then you go from there.
Yeah. Not bad.
the McMaster region would be a juggernaut.
It's loaded. It's loaded.
See, everybody claims that I have bad takes, but I can't wait to just put the card back at him and be like, name one of them.
Well, I could name 4 that happened
right.
in the last 20
Well,
minutes.
What's the 4? Name me. What's the 4?
I think you know less about The Sopranos than David Chase.
Okay,
you,
that
which
is
you'd
more
only
so.
watched.
That's me being ironic. All right, it's very
I
clear.
know ironic
It's
is the
very
word that I would
clear.
use. It
It's
starts
very-
with I there.
It's
but
very clear. Idiotic might be the
Thank
more
you.
accurate word.
there, you
Yes.
found it.
Li-
He found it.
Listen, I'm aware. I know David Chase knows more about The Sopranos than I do. It's a funny joke, though. It's very Connor Happer to make bold claims about those things. Okay, that I'm not being serious there.
Happer
am-
got serious on today's show.
Yeah, I was angered.
Why? What was you
He
angry
got
about?
a double rant gong, which is the first time in rant gong history.
What did you get angry? Why are you okay?
I'm fine. Yeah.
Are you fine?
I'm great. I
He's
just like,
tired of Nebraska fans coming after him.
yes, I am.
About
And he
About
says
their
the
about
problem
how
is
good
them.
their team is. Like
you're aware.
correct, and I've been trying to convince people for months and weeks about this.
Yeah,
But there's a whole thing baked inside of it. It's a long story.
Not my fault.
People do not believe the things that I say about Nebraska basketball because
Did it stop there?
of
'Cause-
my affiliation with
well, no, I think
Blue Team.
I think it's very reasonable that people expect you to just not do extracurricular things outside of the radio station if it hampers Nebraska. Even though that, how dare you go out and work for more money and work to up
No,
your
but
resume?
this is different.
No,
and
you're just
have
trying
more
to
followers.
explain your position for your overtime show.
That's true.
I see what you're doing.
No, I
here.
don't think that people care that I do that.
I totally am.
But-
that totally was the play there.
They have now graduated to apparently not being able to believe the things I say because of that.
Yeah, that's stupid.
That is.
It's just dumb. But
they
it's
think
okay.
he's unafraid, or they think he's afraid to say Nebraska basketball is good.
Which is something that I've been saying for a long time.
Yeah, but they're
More
not.
than some of them that are fans.
They're
I
not
would
good
point out.
though. They're not good. They're great.
They're good.
No, they're great.
And then Schaefer and I had a mini argument about who would win in 100 games if Nebraska and Gonzaga played each other. If Nebraska and Gonzaga played
And I
each other,
landed on
100
Nebraska 59 out of 100, and he
Ooh.
landed on Gonzaga 55 out of 100.
Yeah.
I'd probably side with Connor just because I think Ike would be a really tough match.
Hater.
And they got that other tall power forward,
Huff.
Huff. He's good too. I was watching Keaton Wagler this weekend. My God.
Wagler. Mr. Wagler.
Why do you keep saying it like that?
Because he was going ham. 46 points. Damn.
He went 9 of 11 from 3. It was quite incredible.
Wow.
Nine of 11?
Never forget.
It was okay. Guys, that's what he did. Okay. That's what
It's interesting that
I
you just
can't-
like call that out. You're like 9 of 11.
Well, yeah, because that's insane. You took 11 threes and he made 9 of them. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's true.
He shot 9 times 9 is 81% from the field.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how that works? That's how that works.
Well, he
9%.
was like, that was from 3. Though.
That was from 3. He went 13 of 17.
That
from
was
the
it.
field.
13 of 17.
He made that
Not a
floater.
significant date in our history, though.
He made a 13-17. What a year.
Couldn't
Can't-
be a month.
Couldn't be a month.
Its last real, chance to be a date would have been in the 14th century or whatever that would be.
Yeah,
See,
1300.
I'm having a time, and this is where Nick facts might come from. I'm listening to a book, okay, and the guy in the book that I'm listening to, the main character, is a smart scientist, and he's very, very intelligent. But I'm struggling of when the character says something, if those are actually true things. Because like today, I was listening, and he was like, 10 is only a significant number because we have 10 fingers.
Have you found him to be an unreliable character?
No, he's doing well right now. He's surviving.
Is he Jim Carrey in the number 23?
No, this is Ryland Grace in Project Hail Mary.
Oh yeah, no,
That's your boy
I know this
Gosling.
book.
This is an Andy.
Ha! Gosling?
Why did you?
I
cough?
love
Why
Gosling.
did you cough like that?
Because
like he
I
was,
love
like,
Gosling.
like he was an old friend from high school.
Well,
He-
I haven't thought about him in a while.
Jake.
It got his
What a
dander up.
guy.
Yeah, I love Gosling.
They got a what?
It got his dander up a little bit. He got excited.
What's dander?
Eh,
Is that like a prefix for dandruff?
No.
Okay, that's what it sounds like.
You ever seen a Gosling movie you didn't like?
Yeah, La La Land.
You didn't like La La Land?
I didn't even watch it.
Good take, Matt.
What because they sing? It's supposed to be art.
That
Oh,
white
he's
boy
fine.
saved jazz.
No, I thought it was fine.
This is okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
But Gosling,
All right, I'm going to look this up
what a
for a Gosling
performance.
movie that I didn't like.
Oh, great job, Schaefer.
Good luck.
Can you tell me a Matt Damon movie you didn't like? Because I can't.
Born Identity.
Whoa,
Oh, you're not a Bourne guy.
I have
So hyper edited that it was boring to watch.
I like, it.
I just stopped trying.
Good.
Wow,
Take, Schaefer.
Stibbs. Oh wow, I like La La Land. I cried over what? The jazz?
Being
I don't
forced to
remember
watch
anything
it.
that happened in it, but I
Neither
remember.
do I.
I remember thinking
So long
positively
ago.
about it generally afterwards.
It just felt like an obvious pass to me the moment I saw the first trailer. Like,
La
I
La
don't
Land.
like Emma Stone.
Whoa,
And
Jules. Now that's a movie.
Emma Stone.
no, that might be the only movie where
Is Emma Stone underrated?
Not
No.
according to Mike Schaefer.
she's like overrated.
I love her.
You can have her.
I'll take her. I'll take her.
All right,
Emma Stone. How beautiful, man.
It's not because of him, but Gangster Squad was pretty underwhelming, if you
Okay.
remember that.
Okay.
I found his character. Have you guys seen The Place Beyond the Pines?
It's one of my favorites.
It's a strange movie. I liked it.
There's 2 movies.
There's
inside
just
of
a
the
lot
movie.
happening in that thing.
Yes.
I feel like I'm due for a rewatch on that one.
You guys
Well, his
seen-
character dies or goes away
Right.
like halfway through the movie. So
Drive was obviously great.
Drive where he drives.
Yep. Fracture, I think, was like the first movie of his that I remember being like, oh, this guy's gonna be a star.
Mhm.
And I was probably late getting
That's
that.
that was like seeing him, in Des Moines, Iowa, pitch 6 innings against the Cubs, and you're like, "Oh, this guy's gonna."
It was more like because people remember him as the cornerback and remember the Titans. or they remember him from The Notebook. And like for me, Fracture was a thriller where he's opposite of Anthony Hopkins, and it's like a good crime thriller, good drama. And I was like, oh, this guy's going to be pretty good.
Facts.
I have no opinions.
There's not a lot of landmines in there. I mean, depending on how people feel about Lars and the Real Girl, which could be a very divisive movie.
Yeah, man.
Otherwise, it's pretty good.
Am I the only one that gets Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Gosling confused?
Probably not the only one, but definitely the only one in this room.
I have never gotten
That's a
them
common
confused.
theme. It's a very common theme of just this radio
What do you
station.
find confusing about them?
They just look the same, and
They don't look anything the same.
I just think
If
I
you're
just-
like, am
for
I the
whatever
only one
reason-
that gets Ryan Gosling and Jared Goff confused? I'd be like, no, I could see
Ryan,
where they
I don't
look a
know. They
little
just
like each
they
other.
just for whatever reason my brain has just melted them together. Or when I think of Gosling, I think of Gyllenhaal. And I have to react, and I have to
See,
adjust.
I'm probably
We're talking about this one now.
I'm in the minority where I prefer Jake Gyllenhaal to Ryan Gosling, like
I think Jake Gyllenhaal
in
is
every
awesome.
way. But
You know,
Gyllenhaal's fine, but Gosling is way better, but that's cool.
I think Matt Damon is better than both.
Okay.
That's just my take. I think Matt Damon's incredible.
I would take each of them over Matt Damon.
Real? No way.
Maybe.
Whoa, you're out on Damon?
I'm
how
not a
can you
big
be-
Matt Damon guy.
I love Matt Damon.
It's
Air.
not like he's bad or anything. His movies tend to, be whatever for me.
You think The Martian is whatever?
Never saw it.
Just got an
You
email
have to
from
see it.
Lance. I watched Born Identity on an airplane looking at someone else's laptop across the aisle without hearing a single word and understood the whole thing. Nice email.
I don't know
Lance.
if that's like a good
Is that a
thing for the
compliment?
movie.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not a compliment to the movie
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. I haven't seen the Bourne movies. Truthfully, have not seen it. The last new Damon movie I saw was Air, and that was great.
Oh, yeah, the one where he's
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You good.
The one though, he just came out with one on Netflix.
The Rip.
I gotta see it. Him and Affleck. Are you kidding me? Has anybody seen The Accountant here?
The first one.
The first one?
Yeah, I haven't
what
seen
a,
the second.
What a movie. Have you seen The Accountant too?
No, I
It seemed
haven't.
like
I-
it turned
just
into
said I
a-
hadn't seen it.
It seems like it turned into a buddy cop movie, which is not, that's not what The Accountant was about. The first Accountant was about a man battling autism, and how he deals with it in his everyday life. And then the fact that the caveat was he was an assassin.
Whoa.
I know.
I didn't know that's what that was about.
So you do the flashbacks between like him growing up, trying to deal with, the difficulties at time of autism, which can be an inspirational tale. And then all of a sudden you cut to a new scene, he's killing a guy.
No
And it
kidding.
was awesome. It's
It-
right up your alley. It'd be a
it
great movie for you.
Is a weirdly titled movie for what it ends up being, and then the trailers did not help explain what you were going to see if you saw it. That's how I feel. About it.
Skip-
Michael Severe loves it.
Such a
It sounds like I would like it.
But then I saw the Accountant 2 trailer. I was like, this is not what this is about. Because it was like Bernthal was in it, because he was in the first one too. And they were like, all right, they're just buddies now. They're gonna go and kill a bunch of people together. And you're taking like the layered approach of what the
Is-
Accountant one was all about away from the movie, which is terrible.
Is it John? It's John Bernthal, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Is he a big enough actor that you can just say Bernthal? and
Great
the
question. I
majority of
thought the
people
same thing.
Would know who he is.
Is there another actor with the last name Bernthal?
But do people like place that name and a face together?
See,
I did, but it took me an extra.
I knew exactly who he was
Yeah.
talking about, but then it led to me thinking,
Wait a
I've never
minute.
heard anyone just.
Is he
Normally
just
he's like, you know
Bernthal?
that guy from the movie,
sure.
and then they work back that way.
I think he's big enough for
Has
me
he
to do it.
graduated to that level?
You know what? The Punisher, I haven't seen The Punisher. Okay, but everybody loves The Punisher.
Sure.
And that has become that's become his role.
He was in The Bear.
Yep,
I didn't know that.
he's the older brother.
But he finally, I think he was a guy who was looking for that role.
he is.
What'd you do?
You don't have to
he's
worry about it.
Famous. Have you seen the show?
No,
I've seen episode
it falls
one.
in the 5-year category.
Oh,
You
that's
don't
right.
wanna-
Yeah, basically one of the main plot lines of the show is that he's dead.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in flashbacks, you see
Yeah.
him.
Oh, was he
Yeah.
the reason why the guy who owned the place
You
before he
got
took
it.
it over? Okay.
Hey,
Look at that. That's
Look at
that's another Spark Note one that
I'm
pops
surprised
up on
you
the
haven't
YouTube
seen The
shorts.
Bear.
Yeah, Mr. Chicago.
Yeah. Not TV guy.
Is it because they took a perfectly good beef joint and turned it into a hoity-toity restaurant?
Probably. I would hate that. If Johnny's in Palatine did that, I'd be very
What's
pissed.
the guy who I found so annoying that everybody else loved the episode and I hated it? Forks or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe in Richie's transformation at all. Don't buy it.
Oh, is
Wow. You
Would
when he was
not
singing
buy it.
Taylor Swift at the end?
Do not buy it
Oh, I
at
was
all.
crying my eyes out.
It was people talk about that episode and they talk
So
about how much
good.
it moved them, and I'm over here like, yeah, I don't believe that guy would transform that way at all. Look, you don't believe in the human condition to get better as a person?
no.
Like, no, I don't believe in Richie's ability to do it.
Wow, you thought he was that much of a POS.
Yeah,
He
still
kind
do.
of was. Yeah.
All right, that's the crossover.
Goodbye.
Powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Middays with Matt coming up next.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
That's an absolutely horse crap call. Make room for Daddy. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Chicago is.
This is Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt here on 1620 The Zone. Matt McMaster joined as always with Josh Hodson. Josh, how are you? How you doing today?
Good. I have always joined you
I know.
for Middays with Matt.
That's what I'm saying. You've always been here.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite a while. Actually, I bought a ticket yesterday because we aren't going to be together in about a month, which will be the first time we'll be away from one another.
Actually, the first time we'll be away from each
no.
other is Monday, February 16th.
Okay. Cool.
And it will be my fault.
Okay. It's always your fault.
That's right.
You're the absolute worst, Josh Hodson. No, I'll be gone February 27th. And I already got our substitute. Austin Jacobson is going to sub in for me on the 27th. It's not going to be a surprise. AJ's going to be in. We actually, we got pizza and pitchers of beer together yesterday.
I saw this yesterday.
There's just nothing better
I was happy for you guys.
than having a friend who likes football.
Oh, okay. There was more to
well,
that.
also you could just put a period at the end of the first sentence. You know, nothing better just having a friend who likes football. And then I'm the social one in my friend groups. Like I'm the one that makes all the plans, and I'm the one that kind of says, "Hey guys, let's do this on this day." Right? That's always been like a expectation from me. Like, hey, like Matt will make the plans. Matt will put everything together. Like, oh, Matt's coming into town. Like, okay, he's gonna have something like
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it gets annoying, because if something doesn't get done, or like, we don't all meet together, immediately he's like, why didn't Matt put this together? Why didn't Matt make the plans? And then I feel bad about it, right? Austin texted me. He was like, hey, do you want to get pizza and pitchers on Sunday? And I was like, wow, what an experience, to not have to plan the thing, for someone already to have the plan all ready to go. Just be like, oh, I just have to show up. I just have to sit down. By the way, shout out, went to Paisans for the very first time. Awesome stuff. Shout out Megan.
Hell yeah.
She did a great job serving us. It was, and met her husband Ben too. It was great people indeed. Paisans, shout out, absolutely awesome. But what a weekend of sports we had. If you were a college basketball fan, you got fulfilled. If you were a football fan, maybe you did. I don't know. It's interesting to see what the temperature is like from the games that happened yesterday, because you can never tell me you're not excited for a Super Bowl. Like you can never be like, oh, I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl, or I'm not amped up for it. Like, no, it's the Super Bowl. Like you've watched so much football and sat down in your couch all year long to get to this point. Like this is the ultimate payoff. Like you can never not tell me you're not excited about it. At the same time, there does seem to be this like very funny reluctance of Super Bowl rematches. Just people like, no, I want to see two random teams every single time. Hate to break it to you guys. We've done 60 of these things now. We've gone through a lot of combinations of teams.
Okay.
Like, go ahead.
Can I pick at this a little?
Go ahead.
Oh, it's a Super Bowl rematch. None of those rosters are the same as they were.
I know.
It's just the helmets. What?
But I think that's the point. Like people want to see different helmets.
This is the Pop-Tarts Bowlization of football, where everything has to be fun and entertaining at all times.
You know what?
Nobody cares about the football anymore.
This is supposed to be a rundown of what the show's going to be like, but this might just turn into a segment. This is why I hate that every MLB team now plays each other every year. Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is why I dislike this, because football is the only one that still has this, where you can go years without playing a team. Like you can go multiple seasons without playing a franchise. And I think that's cool, because also like you can be like, wow, we don't play the, like the Bears. I'll give you this. the Bears really like played the Patriots one every 4 years, right?
Mhm.
And so it's like when we had a year where we played the Patriots because the Patriots were great with Brady, it was a big deal. It was like, wow, okay, like we get to play Brady. Like I'm excited about this. Or like when the Bears would go ahead and they play Kansas City on the road, you're like, whoa, we only get once every 8 years to really go on the road and play Kansas City. Like the Bears don't play in Arrowhead a lot. This is a special event, right? When you have like a league where you're just not playing all the teams over and over again, there's like this novelty, this special little that like sport nerds really enjoy. Like I like it when the Bears play a team they haven't played in a while, or like when my team gets to go on the road and I get to go on the road with them into a stadium that I don't get to go to a lot, right? I think that's kind of the same thing with the Super Bowl. Like people are kind of amped to be like, oh wow, like this is an interesting matchup that you don't see all the time, you know? For example, like the Jaguars don't get to play the Rams a lot. Like that just doesn't happen. Hey, it's going to happen in the Super Bowl. Hey, these two teams have been great all year. This is exciting. Like that's what the Super Bowl is. I think people get amped up for that, like the novelty of two teams that you don't see playing a lot, playing each other and earning their way to do it. And then when that doesn't happen, they get disappointed. That's my theory on it. And I understand it because I kind of feel the same way. It is a little boring that I've seen those helmets and jerseys play each other on that stage before. But if you enjoy football and you've been following the league all year, they're two very compelling and interesting stories.
Yeah.
You know, that have an incredible amount of layers to both of them. When you really think about it, we will talk about all of those layers and all of those things. And then we'll put it on the shelf for 2 weeks and not talk about it until like 2 days before.
Whoa, really?
I'm not a big fan of the 2 weeks in between the championship game and the Super Bowl.
I get it.
Call me a
yes,
creature of habit.
I don't. It's annoying. Yeah, it has its annoyances.
I understand why they do it.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's a big event. You know, you want the pageantry, you want the media day, you want the whole week lead up, you know, and everything like that. Still, as a creature of habit, I'm just excited. I just want them to play. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the AFC championship games. We'll talk about the NFC championship games. We'll talk about me being right, because you're damn right. I'm going to take a mini victory lap here because I have the ticket and nobody else does, and everybody called me a fool for having the ticket. We're gonna talk about Nebraska basketball. Josh Hodson, I don't know if you know this. Nebraska basketball is 20-0. Did you hear about that?
20-0.
Did somebody go ahead and whisper that in your ear? They're 20-0. They beat Minnesota on the road. I called it a trap game, and they laughed in my face. I said, "Ha, you idiot! It ain't no trap game. It's a blowout. It's not a beach."
The barn.
The barn. Ooh, it's such a tough place to play. Oh, Indiana and Iowa have lost here before. If it weren't for John Blackwell and his buzzer beater, Wisconsin would have lost too. Don't matter. Sam Hoiberg, ever heard of him? That's what they say. Nebraska basketball, 20-0. They go on the road tomorrow to Ann Arbor, Michigan, to take on the Wolverines. We'll talk about that. We're going to preview the game tomorrow, but we'll talk about the stakes of that game and everything that doesn't get super X's and O's and nitty gritty today. And then tomorrow we'll get more deep into what that matchup is going to look like, because by far it is the biggest matchup that's happened in the Big Ten Conference up to this date, which, by the way, if you told somebody at the beginning of the season, hey, that Michigan game in January between Nebraska and Michigan is actually going to be a massive game in the Big Ten. And can you imagine telling somebody, hey, that game is going to be for potentially the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament?
I will admit I cannot envision a time where I would have said that to someone. But now I get to. Now we get to do that. So Nebraska basketball plays Michigan tomorrow. That'll be big. We'll talk about the Super Bowl, talk about the AFC and NFC championship games. Mike McCarthy got hired by the Steelers. What the hell are we doing? Good take.
I have some stats for you, so enjoy that. We'll also talk about Sam Darnold. Josh.
Yes, Matt.
We have a fun segment.
I love fun segments.
What the hell are we going to do? Football is over, everybody. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to be told this. It kind of hit me last night during the first half
Oh, it hit me the weekend before the national championship game.
Really?
I was like, oh my gosh, there's only like 6 football games
See-
left. One of them's going to suck because Bo Nix is dead. And,
I was sitting there and I was like, we're about midway through the second quarter of the Seahawks-Rams game. And I'm like, whoa, this is it. Like, this is done. I get one more half of football and I get a game and then 7 months just wandering in the wilderness, not knowing what to do. Josh,
luckily, you're a draft guy. I'm not a draft guy.
But here's the funny thing though, Josh, like typically my team has a really high pick. And so it's
That's right. Bears are terrible.
Thank you, Josh. So it's like one of those things where this is our future. This is a big moment. Like, do we trade up? Do we trade down? What are we going to do? I have a list of prospects that I'm like amped up and ready to go. It's weird to be a draft guy when your team doesn't have as high of stakes anymore. You know, when like all the guys that you watch in college that you're really excited to see play, you're like, wow, the Bears going to have a shot at getting any of them. But yes, I'm still a draft guy. When we get to the combine, we'll be full of the draft. But like the draft and the combine is the distraction a little bit. You're like, you're getting tired of not having football in your life. And then the draft rolls around. And you're like, okay, we're good. You know, like, all right, free agency's here. Like we're settled. We're fine. And then the draft ends. And then you're officially like, I don't know what to do anymore. So Josh and I are going to have a segment where we pitch ideas as to how we can fill our time. Will we pitch ideas with more sports? Will we pitch ideas with hobbies?
Ooh.
Will we pitch our ideas with just me not being lonely anymore? We will see.
I have a short list.
I can't now. I'm more excited to hear what you have on your list. Okay. As opposed to you hearing what I have on my list. Because what I have on my list is kind of boring.
Oh.
I'm excited to see what creative things you came up with. So we will talk about that. We'll also give you all the updates. It was a big weekend for Nebraska sports in general. Wrestling, had a very competitive yet tough weekend. Nebraska women's basketball pulled off a very close win against Illinois. They had that game pretty handily, and then Illinois kind of came roaring back and made that close at the end, but they pulled off a big victory. We will get the AP poll at some point for both women's and men's basketball, so we will talk about that when that gets released. We have a loaded show for you today. So, Middays with Matt, 402-951-1620 is the hotline if you want to call in. That's sponsored by Prairie Flower Casino. Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more. If you want to email in, give us your thoughts, give us your opinions on Nebraska football, Nebraska basketball, Creighton basketball. They have a big game tomorrow. Go ahead, email us at Matt@1620thezone, Josh O @1620thezone. That is the Equitable Bank inbox. Equitable Bank, they take banking personally. We're going to have a fun show today. It's a McMidday here on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. If there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around. And I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself. And me never just wanted to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves. And all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt here on 1620 The Zone. Hey, tomorrow, just realized this, at 4:30, we're going to get Nebraska's Big Ten schedule for football. So we will find out. We know who they're going to play. We know that they're going to play. Oh, correct me where I'm wrong here, Josh. Do I already have the Big Ten opponents memorized? This would be sicko activity from me. You're going to play Rutgers, Illinois, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, Washington, Maryland.
That's right.
So I have 8. Who am I forgetting?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Do they play
6,
Michigan
7,
State next year?
8, 9. They do.
There it is, 9. Bang!
Illinois, Iowa, Michigan State, Oregon, Rutgers on the road, Indiana, Maryland, Ohio State, and Washington coming to Lincoln.
I'm sorry for laughing.
You disgust me.
It does not get any more palatable as the year goes on.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's the problem with Nebraska's schedule next season. It's not necessarily just because you play Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State, which, by the way, woof. Okay. By the way, On3 had their composite top 25, too early top 25 rankings. Okay. So that's where they just kind of pooled all of the different top 25 rankings that they've seen and like put them together. Ohio State ranked first. Indiana ranked second. Oregon ranked fifth. So Nebraska is slated to play potentially 3 top 5 teams next season, which tough.
Fun.
Tough indeed. Ohio State's going to be really good next year because they like bring so many guys back. But Indiana, good Lord, I don't know if you guys have seen, but they killed it in the portal. Indiana might be better next season. Not might be. They very well could be better next season than they are this season, which is incredibly scary to think about. But my point being here is that it's not necessarily you're freaked out because Nebraska plays Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon. Like that is that's tough. Don't get me wrong. But then the fact that you play 3 other teams that you could argue are in that like tier 2 to tier 3 range of the Big Ten, you play Illinois, Washington and Iowa, all respectively scary in their own rights. I mean, the fact that, you got to play Devon Williams, you got to play Brett Bielema again, and he just is killing it over there in Illinois right now. He just understands how to build that team, how to build that program. And then Washington, Iowa. I mean, we know how big of a thorn in the side of Matt Rule that team has been, and so it's like you can't really count a win against Iowa until it happens, which frankly I think is just the theme of Nebraska football at this point. You can't count on anything different happening until it happens. But tomorrow we finally find out what order that will all occur in. I think the big thing will be, how do they break up the Rutgers game and the Oregon game? How are those separated? Do you,
the two long trips.
Yeah.
Okay.
How far apart are they from each other? And then on top of that, like, do you have a bye week to break it up potentially? Do you play the Rutgers game early on and the Eugene game later? I just interesting to see how they kind of handle that, because that would suck if they, if the Big Ten really wanted to screw Nebraska over, you put those games on back-to-back weeks. Can you imagine having to make a long West Coast trip, then you come back to Lincoln, then you got to take a long East Coast trip? I think the operations department would have it out with the Big Ten if that happened.
I believe the last time Nebraska went out to Piscataway, it was a Friday night game.
Yeah, that was a disgusting football game.
Feels like a perfect candidate for Thursday night, Friday night.
I think they're just always going to play Illinois on Friday.
That too. That's another
that's
one.
just always lurking. The Illinois
big
Friday
enough to where Nebraska Illinois is on. But
that does draw. That game weirdly does draw, because Illinois is that team where you're like, well, it's Brett Bielema in Illinois. They're frisky.
Yeah,
like they're the ultimate. They're like the Seattle Seahawks before they made it to the Super Bowl yesterday. You're always going to sit down and watch a Seahawk game because they're good, but until outside of the Legion of Boom, they never got over the hump until yesterday. Illinois is kind of the same way. Illinois has become one of those programs where it's like, yeah, you could probably mark them down for 8 to 9 wins every year, which good for them. Good for Champaign, Illinois. Good for Brett Bielema. All right, we have a lot to talk about for the next 3 hours. Nebraska basketball. We will find out their AP poll ranking. They got some help. Houston lost to Texas Tech. That was a hell of a game. JT Toppin, shout out. Illinois. Good Lord, that win is aging like fine wine. We'll talk about the Illini. And should you be more afraid about the Illini coming back to Lincoln than you should about the Michigan game? There's some arguments to be made there, because this Illinois team, it's like one of those things where they got beaten by Nebraska, and people, and you got to remember too, they're a team that played Alabama at the UC and they lost that game. And I think some people were hesitant with how elite Illinois can be. So Nebraska, I don't want to say buried them, but that loss kind of made people look away from them. No more looking away, guys. This Illinois team's legit. That's going to be a big game at the Vault in less than a week. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Illinois. We're going to talk about Sam Darnold, Mike Vrabel. What a story. Mike McDonald needs some shout outs too. And we're going to talk about Mike McCarthy. It's a day of Mikes.
Mike.
We're just going to talk about Mike. Mike Schaefer was on the show a little bit ago. So we're going to have some fun today, and we're going to tell you what the hell we are going to do now that football is over here on Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Sam Spiegelman from Rivals reports that he's made a prediction for Nebraska to land a 4-star defensive line recruit in the class of 2026. Dylan Berriman, one of the kind of final top guys in the class of 2026 and just football in general who hasn't signed. He's made a visit to Lincoln not too long ago. And at this point, it seems like things are trending for him to eventually commit to the University of Nebraska to be in the class of 2026. Be big for Nebraska to get Berriman. He's the number 26 D-line in the entire 2026 recruiting class. Obviously, 4-star blue chip prospect would be joining a class that doesn't have a lot of blue chippers. Only Claude and Puma and along with Danny Odom are kind of the top guys there. He'd be a blue chipper in a class that's in desperate need of them. And more importantly, D-line. Thank you. Yeah. Thank God. We need more of them. You need more 4-star D linemen. You just need more D linemen in general. So it seems like Nebraska for Dylan Berriman is trending in the right direction. Jeff Goodman tweets the updated college hoops national title odds per BetMGM. Your top, the best odds to win the national championship in college basketball this season belongs to Michigan, according to BetMGM today on January 26th. That's the team that Nebraska will play tomorrow on the road. The Huskers, the line got released on it was the most recent line released on FanDuel Sportbook. The Huskers right now are 10.5-point underdogs on the road against the Wolverines. Michigan at plus 400, Arizona at plus 450. Massive game tonight for the Wildcats. They go on the road to take on AJ Dybansa and BYU. Arizona undefeated, the only other Power 4 or Power 5 rather undefeated team in the country, right next to Nebraska. 2.5-point underdogs tonight against BYU. So that will be a game to watch. I'm sure we have that on what to watch for. Illinois plus 2,000 to win the national championship, and then Nebraska plus 3,500. Nebraska has the same odds to win the national championship that Vanderbilt does, which is shocking to me considering the fact
they're
that
not for real.
They're not. They dropped 3 games in a row against 3 teams. They lost to Texas. They're meh. They lost to Florida, who I thought was very good, until they lost to Auburn in a weird game over the weekend where they came back and you're like, all right, this game's over. And then they still ended up losing it. And then they got boat raced by Arkansas. And then now, granted, Vanderbilt beat the crap out of Mississippi State, so maybe they got the wheels rolling back in the right direction. I think Mark Byington still, outside of Fred Hoiberg, doing an incredible job and should get some AP Coach of the Year recognition. Obviously, the Coach of the Year this season is Fred Hoiberg so far. But Vanderbilt and Nebraska have the same odds. That doesn't make sense to me. If you go to Bracket Matrix right now, not only is Nebraska a 2 seed, Nebraska is the highest 2 seed according to Bracket Matrix. They are the closest 2 seed to becoming a 1. Their actual average bracket seeding, according to Bracket Matrix, which takes 82 brackets across the country and averages them out, their average is 1.87. I'm not telling you that Nebraska basketball is going to win the national championship. I'm not telling you that.
Don't put it on the internet.
But you know what they call me around here?
Kid?
Jesus, Josh.
Oh,
Matt McFutures.
Matt McFutures.
Gee, you know the line. You know the company line. Say the company line.
Sorry, I'll do better next time.
Thank you. Jeez. They do call me Matt McFutures. At least I call myself that. I'm just saying, don't put it on the internet that I'm saying that Nebraska basketball is going to win the national championship. Okay? Don't put it on the internet. But plus 3,500 for a team that very well could be a 1 seed is incredible value. Right? $20 bet wins you $700. $10 bet wins you $350. I'm not saying that Nebraska basketball is going to win the national championship, but I am telling you, pretty damn good value there. I'm just like,
well, sprinkle never hurt anybody.
You know what? So I am thinking about making a Matt McFutures board for the show, and we can put it up on a graphic and everything. The problem is that I only have 1 future out in the air right now, so it'd be a pretty empty board. So I have to make more futures, but you can't force these things, Josh Hodson.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
You don't want to be betting volume just to make a graphic.
Exactly.
And get it wrong, and then you can't call yourself Matt McFuture.
I can't call myself the best futures better in America, which, by the way, place could bet back in December. Seattle Seahawks plus 800 to win the Super Bowl. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, now, am I going to hedge? Absolutely not. Only wusses hedge and smart people who want to guarantee the amount of money they make. But we'll talk about the championship games in a little bit. But I'm just saying the value is there. I am probably going to place a future on Scotty Scheffler to win some sort of golf major this season.
That dude doesn't lose.
20th win. He won the American Express championship over the weekend. His 20th PGA Tour victory. He is he's the third golfer to ever have 4 major title wins and 20 PGA Tour wins before the age of 30. Can you guess who the other 2 golfers are, Josh Hodson?
Tiger Woods.
Okay, there you go. Who's the other one? There's probably one other one. He's a one-name guy. You can say one. You can say this guy's name, and everybody in the context of golf, and everybody knows who you're talking about.
Jack.
There you go, Jack Nicklaus.
Phew. Okay.
So we'll probably get a Scotty Scheffler.
There's a lot of pressure there.
Was there?
Wanted to get it right.
So there you go. Nebraska basketball plus 3,500 to win the national championship. Their opponent tomorrow, Michigan plus 400 to win the national title. That will be that's the best odds in the country so far. So that will be a massive game. All righty. Some news here. Officially, Mike McDaniel is the offensive coordinator of the LA Chargers, so he will no longer be the potential head coach of the Buffalo Bills. That is all coming in right now. All righty, let's talk about football. Yesterday's game against the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos. Very, very interesting because I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about this. I'll tell you about the game in general. The game was sloppy. The game was played in a snow globe. The game had less to do about the skill of the players and more to do about the skill of being able to fight through the elements.
Right.
2 very good defenses fighting each other out. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. There are some people who are on the internet who did not like this game, who thought it was a slog, who thought it was boring, who thought that, it's fun when weather is involved, but it's not as fun when weather is involved to the point it was. I'll tell you right now, when that New England punter shanked the punt and they did a beautiful job with being right behind him for the punt. They got the punt cam right behind him. So you go ahead and
see.
You could see right off the foot. And I'm like, oh, like I gasped. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Like, I loved it. I love that it was, I'm predisposed to just love Big Ten West football.
That could be part of it.
At this point, I've been brainwashed into thinking that the field position battle between 2 teams and whether or not you take points is the most thrilling thing in football. But I loved it. I think that the mistake of the game and probably the mistake of the weekend is Sean Payton going for it. I know it happened earlier in the game, but the fact that you go ahead and you go for it and you don't take the points in that situation, I think it was in the first half, and you go for it on 4th down and you lose it, especially when you have the quarterback that you have and your defense is playing to the level it did, that you just don't immediately go, hey, we're going to kick this field goal in a makeable range was kind of baffling to me. And at the end of the day,
and you got to know the weather's coming.
You have to know that the weather is coming.
You probably didn't know it was going to be like it was, but
I wonder if that was in the team meeting of like, all right, boys, we have to get our points from this point to this point, because when the weather
probably
rolls
wasn't
in,
that, but
you got to think that they had to. That had to be a discussion.
In the second half, yeah.
But anyway, they go ahead and they don't kick the field goal. They end up losing the game. I mean, at the end of the day, the Denver Broncos lost that game more than the New England Patriots did. I mean, the one touchdown that was scored was set up by just an awful pass which turned into a fumble by Jarrett Stidham. So New England takes advantage of it. I think a lot of people are going to try and talk about Drake May and the fact that he's had a terrible playoffs, which, by the way, he has. 55% completion percentage, 183 yards per game, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The dude's been sacked 15 times in three games. It's quite ridiculous how bad that New England offensive line has been for him, and yet they're in the Super Bowl. I think the story is way more about Mike Vrabel, though. This defense has carried this team to the Super Bowl. stellar performance after stellar performance, put, Justin Herbert in a body bag, made CJ Stroud lose millions upon millions of dollars. I mean,
Yeah.
CJ Stroud is not going to get the contract that maybe a guy as talented as him should get, in part, and there's a lot of reasons to it, but one of them is definitely for sure being embarrassed to the tune of, what was it? He had 5 turnovers that game by the New England Patriots, who were just absolutely on it. And the Patriots, once again, absolutely on it against Jarrett Stidham. They did not allow, this quarterback that you don't have a ton of tape on, that everybody's saying, hey, he's better than what he was before. They did not allow that to distract them. They did not allow kind of the unknown to catch them off guard. They just went ahead and they played ball. Christian Gonzalez is a hell of a football player. That entire just defense is so well coached and so well tuned. And then they obviously got helped too by the fact that nobody could make a kick. But Mike Vrabel, man, to go from being on the doorstep of making the Super Bowl and competing in the AFC playoffs and, accomplishing what he accomplished with Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, and good Tennessee defenses, to then have 2 terrible seasons at the end of it. I mean, it was bad in Tennessee. And then to essentially get pushed out by ownership and then not hired immediately. That's the shocking thing of this all. Not necessarily that Vrabel got fired and of course he ends up on the Patriots. The fact that it took him a full year to get back into the cycle. He was, if you're Cleveland, man, you're like, dude, we had Mike Vrabel in the building. We literally had him coaching under Kevin Stefanski, and we just let him walk away. We let him go to a conference opponent, and now he's in the Super Bowl. I mean, I just think the turnaround that what he's been able to do in New England has been nothing short of incredible, especially on the defensive end. They made some really good pickups. Milton Williams has been such a great signing on that interior for New England. So I just think the fact that guy has terrible seasons at the end of his tenure at Tennessee, to the point of where they don't care that you're a good coach. You haven't won enough to where your personality isn't bothering us anymore, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to just push you out. And then for him to, in the 1 year, now I get it, right? There's a lot of people on social media who go Mickey Mouse run and, who did they really play and the easiest schedule in the NFL. Look, the New England Patriots don't sit down with the NFL and say, hi, we'd like to play these teams on these dates, okay? And we want to have the best path and easiest schedule. No, they go ahead and they're given what they're given, and they took advantage of that schedule, okay? They played the teams ahead of them. They got to the point of getting into the playoffs, and then it's not. They killed Justin Herbert.
They go 4-13. You get to play a 4-13 schedule.
They manhandled Herbert. Herbert could have played better and beat him. He didn't. They went ahead and they played a great Houston Texans defense, and they just stomped the offense into the ground and didn't allow them to do anything, to the point where they got to the AFC Championship game. And is it their fault that Josh Allen had his worst playoff performance of his career? Is it their fault that Josh Allen had golden opportunity after golden opportunity to beat Denver, to go to the AFC Championship game, to give them more of a challenge? No, it's not their fault. Josh Allen should have been better. And is it their fault that Sean Payton called a very stupid run play, the second to last play of the game, that caused his quarterback, who already had a nagging ankle injury, to hurt himself? Is it their fault that happened? No. Just play the teams ahead of them. Now, when we go ahead and we make the odds, all of that will be reflected in it, which is why Seattle, rightfully so, is a -4.5 favorite against New England. By the way, 4.5 point favorite in the Super Bowl. I got to go back, and maybe this is a good question for Michael Severe. It seems like a lot. It seems like that doesn't ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we always get, anywhere from 1.5 to 3. 4.5 is, you're betting on Seattle to win by more than a touchdown. You're betting on Seattle to essentially stiff arm New England and control the entire game. I don't know if that's going to happen. It'll be interesting to see where the bets and money go. But this Super Bowl, I know a lot of people are, fatigued by New England. And I understand that there are a lot of people who are like, ugh, I've already seen the Super Bowl matchup. I don't care it was 12 years ago. I don't want to see it. This isn't necessarily about the helmets and the jerseys as much as it is about the people. And there are a lot of people who have redeemed themselves and who have had to fight and claw back from not great circumstances. Sam Darnold, we called him a bust for years. We made all we got mono. Oh, he's seeing ghosts. Oh, he's a joke. Oh, another USC quarterback drafted super high and fails once again.
Mono. He had mono.
Yeah, mono. What a loser. That's what we said about him, though.
It is.
We said, Sam, stop kissing chicks in New York and start reading cover 2, dummy. That's what we told him. And then he went to he went to Minnesota, and we all laughed at Minnesota. We're like, really? You're gonna fall for this? Did you see what happened in Carolina? Oh, that worked out so swimmingly. And then he goes ahead and he has a great season in Minnesota, but he has a terrible game at the end of the year to Detroit, and then he has a terrible playoff game. We're all like, the book is written. The book's been written. He's great for stats.
That confirms my bias.
Yes, he's for sure still a bust. It's what? Do you know who should get a lot of credit? Not Sam Darnold for getting better. Not Sam Darnold. It's Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell's a genius. Kevin O'Connell's a great coach. Oh my God, he's done it. Look at what he did with Sam Darnold. Oh my God, what a job. Can you believe it? He got that guy to play good at quarterback. Then he goes to Seattle.
These are all things I said, by the way.
And by the way, he goes to Seattle, and we're going, what are the Seahawks doing? Really? Geno Smith has been great for you for years. Geno Smith is exactly what you need. Geno Smith, high completion percentage, doesn't turn the ball over a lot, controls the game manager. You got Kenneth Walker and a great defense. That's what you need. You're going to take a risk on Sam Darnold? Really? That's what you're going to do? He's only good because of Kevin O'Connell. And what does that guy do? That guy, from week 1 to the NFC Championship game, just has a good-ass season. Wins his team's games, keeps his teams within games. And on the biggest stage yesterday, at home in the biggest game of his career, with the opportunity to prove everybody wrong, what did he do? He did it. I feel like we lose that sometimes. The fact that we have guys that work their way up to proving themselves differently, and then the same old thing happens. And it happened kind of a week ago with Josh Allen. It was Josh's opportunity to finally get to the Super Bowl, to be like, I'm the guy that everybody believes me to be. I'm the quarterback that everybody talks about. This is who I truly am. And he failed. And that sucks. And a lot of people were sad about it. Let's be happy about the fact that a man like Sam Darnold, who has battled through so much adversity when it comes to his career in football, got it done yesterday and played like the best player on the field yesterday. Got to give a ton of credit to Kenneth Walker. He was great. And the Seattle run game earlier in the year wasn't the best. Last 3 games of the regular season, they were 5th in the league. They had over 130 plus rushing yards a game. Yesterday, in the biggest moments, they put the ball in the hands of the former Michigan State running back, and he got things done, man. He just got it done for them. And that's what you need in the playoffs. You need guys who do that. So
that run
on third down,
where they were at midfield and the spider cam happened to be
top
of the play, and you saw how small the holes were that he was weaving through. That was great television. Great job by Fox, who, by the way, we told you 6-8 weeks ago, Tom Brady's getting pretty good at this analyzing football television thing. He is. Good television, good camera angle.
He was great.
That play.
He was great yesterday. Kenneth Walker, 111 all-purpose yards, 1 touchdown. You also have to talk about this Seattle defense, right? I mean, when I place my future, and yes, I'm going to be bragging about it all the way up till we get there. The reason why I place the future as I go, this defense is Super Bowl worthy. That's the thing. This defense is so good. And Devon Witherspoon, what a pick. I mean, people thought at 5 a couple of years ago when they drafted him 5th overall was a bit of a reach. No, he made the last 2 plays kind of the game, essentially, right, to stop the Rams from getting in the end zone. And then another guy who made a great play because they wanted to throw. So on that 4th and 4 to get into the end zone, the Rams slid the offensive line to the right, and they wanted to run a wheel to the left. So essentially, what they wanted was everyone to kind of shift to the right, and then they were going to sneak. I think it was Corum on the route. It was Corum. It was either 22 or 23. Sneak him out to the left, and then kind of hit that wheel right going in the end zone. Julian Love was the corner on that wheel route, and he got stumped a little bit on the stunt right, and then he recovered and got back to the top, and then the safety was able to collapse in because he kind of disjointed the route, the wheel route to the left side a little bit, and so you had two guys covering one. That was Stafford's first look. It forced him to look to the middle, kind of forced something, and then Devon Witherspoon made the play. Julian Love, man, he's cornerback number 2. He was in New York. He was a Giant for a little bit and kind of got just let go. I mean, the Giants were like, all right, we're kind of done with you. I loved him out of college. He was a really good corner for Notre Dame. He's been a great pickup for Seattle. So, I mean, their 2 corners, Love and Witherspoon, have been great. Evan Worry is a beast. DeMarcus Lawrence, former Cowboy, having a hell of a year. Made a Pro Bowl, 6 sacks. He did get kind of run over by Matthew Stafford on that first 4th down, though, in the 4th quarter. But this defense, man, they're loaded. Kobe Bryant's having a good year, too. You can't forget about Ernest Jones. Like, they just have, Tariq Woolen, too. And Kobe Bryant is their free safety. Like, they just have a lot of just really, really good defensive players. And we're going to take a break here. Later in the show, though, we talked about Vrabel and his
penis.
Okay. No, we didn't talk about his penis.
We should.
Is he going to do it?
It's on the line.
Is he going to do it?
I don't know.
I don't want him to do that.
It's going to come up.
Yeah, but he shouldn't do that.
The bet, not his penis.
If they win the Super Bowl, a lot of things could come up. I'm telling you right now, if I won the Super Bowl, I can't tell you. I can't tell you what's going to happen, how I would react.
Yeah.
Okay. No promises.
That's on the table.
That's
certainly.
the penis has to be if they're going to cut it off, right?
I would imagine so.
They're not going to just put it out floating on the air. You got to put it on something.
I remember Kai and Tai.
Is that a movie reference?
That's a WWF stable during the Attitude Era.
Very good, Josh Otts.
They tried to chop off Val Venus's.
I was yesterday's days old when I found out that the Royal Rumble is going to be at 12 o'clock on Saturday.
Middle of the day.
Great
for us olds.
I hate that. The Royal Rumble used to be like, hey, we're going to smoke a pork butt. What now? Hey, we're gonna make a big roast. Now it's turning into what? I got to make breakfast. Like I'm gonna have a sausage burrito when Dolph Ziggler gets eliminated halfway through the match.
Hell yeah, brother.
Do you want to get in on a Royal Rumble pool? By the way, that I'm in.
Yeah,
it's as fun as you think it is. You pay $10 and then you're given a number.
Damn, I got to root for number 12.
Yes, exactly.
Sure, why not?
I got I forgot who I got, but he was some tag team. Oh, Ivar from the
Woof.
From the what?
Waste of $10.
I almost said the Smashing Vikings, like they're the Smashing Pumpkins, the Viking Raiders or whatever. So anyway, you can get in on that. Where was I going? Oh, Mike McDonald. He's going to be in the Super Bowl. We talked about the importance of Mike Vrabel and him being in the Super Bowl, the great story, his redemption arc. We talked about Sam Darnold's redemption arc. Mike McDonald being in the Super Bowl is a big deal for a whole other reason, and it affects a ton of people, especially in the coaching industry. We're going to talk about that eventually, but coming up next, Nebraska basketball, baby. 20-0. Never a doubt. I don't know, man. Tomorrow is such a big day for so many reasons, but even if they end up losing tomorrow, they have proven so much already. And we'll talk about that coming up next here on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
See, I got to learn to come in and beat ups. That's the part they don't tell you about when you have your own show, the timing and art of everything. That'd be a great book, by the way. The timing and art of everything. Somebody who thinks they're like way too smart and graduated from Harvard would probably try and read it, be a New York Times bestsellers, and then all the salespeople would tell you to read that book and it changed their lives. And this is why you should subscribe to their sales program.
Actually, yeah, that sounds real plausible.
I'm literally, I know it's a weird road to go down, but I feel like I'm totally right here. Sport analogy of the day goes to Benjamin Solak. Everybody knows that I love sport analogies. That's part of the reason why I like Colin Cowherd. I'll never forget when he compared the Dallas Cowboys to a bimbo who likes jeans. That was incredible. Not breaking news, but like if you're a big NFL fan, you know that the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to get an offensive coordinator, and the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinating job has become this just weird, somebody gets it and they're great, and then somebody gets it and they suck, and then it's just been this up and down thing of just not being able to find anybody competent to do it, and then just always complaining about it to Kevin or Nick Sirianni. So Declan Doyle is the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, who works under Ben Johnson. Doyle is considered to be like one of the better younger minds in terms of offense in the NFL. And so his progression at this point would be OC for 2 years and then eventually be that like hot young head coach that teams want to hire. He's decided to withdraw his name from the Eagles offensive coordinating job. And Benjamin Solak's sport analogy of the day is the Eagles OC job is the defense against the dark arts job. And we are at the part in Half-Blood Prince where they can't find anyone to take the gig. Because everybody remembers, if you watch Harry Potter's every single movie, they have a new defense against the dark arts teacher, and something terrible happens to them. It never ends well. It never ends well for the defense against the dark arts teacher. That's why it never ends well for the Philadelphia Eagles, even though that job should be like that job should be like a Golden State Warriors assistant coaching job,
Yeah, it's gonna get you somewhere else.
Exactly.
In 2 or 3 years.
That job should. By the way, people forget Alvin Gentry, Luke Walton, her guys, Mike Brown, all assistant coaches of the Golden State Warriors, all ended up getting head coaching jobs. All failed spectacularly.
Yeah, but Luke Walton got to date Britney Spears.
That
for
is
like
true.
6 weeks.
Good for Luke Walton.
Yeah.
What's he doing nowadays?
Great question. I'm going to look it up. You go on with the show.
He was in that Genie Bus article, I'm pretty sure.
I bet.
I think he was brought up. I think it was subject A or D or F.
No.
I don't know. I'm kidding. I have no idea. Did you ever read? Man, what Baxter Holmes writes.
He's the lead assistant for your number 1 seed.
Whoa.
Detroit Pistons.
Really? What a life for Luke Walton. To go from San Francisco to Los Angeles to Sacramento to fail so badly, you got to go to.
He was an assistant with the Cavs the last few years.
You got to go all the way to Detroit to find a work. Yeah, I blew it all on the West Coast. I got to go to the Motor City. So, all right, good for Luke Walton. All righty, Nebraska basketball. Sticking on the theme of basketball, we will find out in roughly 27 minutes where they're going to be ranked in the AP top 25 for college basketball. I think all of the assumptions are that they will be number 5 in the country heading into Michigan tomorrow. Houston lost to Texas Tech, and then Purdue lost to Illinois. What a game that was. Keaton Wagler, the freshman, who, by the way, shout out Jacob Bigelow, who made me well aware of this. Keaton Wagler had 2 Power 5 D1 offers this time last year. 2 Power 5 offers. He ends up going to Illinois. Great job by Brad Underwood. He said, through all of the Balkans I'm going to bring, I'm also going to bring this shooting guard who a lot of people are overlooking. Puts on one of the best college basketball performances I've ever seen. Went to Mackey Arena, scored 46 points, beat Purdue, made the shots at the man. He made this floater at the end of that Purdue game to put Illinois up and essentially seal the game. He is so good. He is so smooth. He's athletic. He's got great touch from the field. just an absolutely dynamite get from Brad Underwood. And now you got to think that the kid is probably going to end up going to the NBA next season because he's now trending upwards on all these mock draft boards. Hit 9 threes on 11 attempts against Purdue in Mackey. That Illinois win, man, is aging like fine wine. I mean, if I know the Michigan State game was a little ugly from Nebraska from a shooting perspective, hell, who cares? They still won, and the reason why they won is they played great defense that entire game. But that Illinois win, man, I mean, that is a team that after they lost to Nebraska, people go, nah, I don't know. You know, maybe once again, it's one of those Illinois teams where they're a little bit more bark than bite, where they're more so really good as opposed to being great. That they're the type of team that, hey, yeah, they might win a tournament game or two, but they're not going to make a deep run, and they'll end up getting blown out by UConn like they typically like they did that one time. No, I mean to go on the road and beat any Big Ten team is already as difficult as is already super difficult. To go ahead and beat Purdue on the road, that's as difficult as it gets, and they've been killing the Big Ten ever since they lost to Nebraska. Right? They beat Rutgers by 16 points. They beat Penn State by 8 points. They beat Northwestern by 11 points. They beat Minnesota by 10. They beat Maryland by 19. And then they follow that up. They go on the road to Purdue and beat them by 6. They play on Thursday against Washington, and then they got that big Sunday tilt on FS1 at 3 o'clock against Nebraska. That game is going to be big. But like I'm saying, Nebraska won that game, and people are like, oh, my God, hell of a win. We'll see what happens with this Illinois team. That Illinois team has responded with being one of the best in the country. They'll probably be ranked 6th or 7th behind Nebraska in this AP poll. So that'll be a big game about 6 days from today. But let's talk about Nebraska basketball. Go on the road to the Barn. Tough place to play. We talked about it on Friday that it was kind of a trap game, but not really a trap game because
they knew ahead of time this is a possible trap game.
That's the point.
So you can prevent it being a trap game.
The one thing about trap games is that you're not supposed to know. It's like Fight Club. You don't talk about Fight Club. You're not supposed to talk about the trap games, okay? They're just supposed to trap you. They're just supposed to get you. This one, though, was a weird one where if you looked at it on paper, Minnesota had lost 4 in a row. They were 10-9 overall. You know, they just hadn't had that great of a year. If you're looking at it on paper, if you prepared or watched Minnesota play, you would know, well, they very easily could have beaten Wisconsin. They had lost in overtime in their last 2 games. You know, they got caught by Bruce Thornton in Ohio State. Like there were signs. I mean, they beat Iowa and Indiana at the Barn, right? Like there were signs that this game could be difficult. And in the first half, it was difficult. They go ahead, they make 9 threes, and they're shooting the cover off the ball. The crowd is exploding. They're excited. I mean, they had all the momentum. Nico Medved they're going to figure it out in Minnesota because he's such a good coach. He is such a good coach. And I was really impressed I love it when they do the in the huddle cam. I understand why you can't do it every single time out because
can't do it live.
Well, that and like, you know, I'm sure there's not everything said in every single huddle is super interesting either, you know? But when they went in the huddle with him, and he told, hey, it's not what we're doing, it's how we're doing it. I was like, wow, like this is a guy he's got control of his huddle. He has control of this team. And you could tell too, the eyes, right? Everybody kind of just staring him down, looking at him, nodding. I mean, he has control of that Minnesota basketball team. So I'm very impressed by him, but they go ahead and they jumped on Nebraska, and Nebraska was very lucky to be down 6 points. And they come out in the second half and light their hair on fire. Price Sanford, which is still one of the best, if not, I mean, it's going to be hard to say, what is the best transfer portal addition in the country. He, without a doubt, is one of the most undervalued, though. We were talking more about Iowa transfers playing in the state of Nebraska that aren't even playing big minutes for their teams now, more than we were talking about Price Sanford, right? And he goes ahead. He has 20 of his 22 points in the second half. He absolutely catches fire. Not enough can be said, though, about Sam Hoiberg, who I tell you that Nebraska was fortunate to be down 6 points at the end of the first half against Minnesota. Sam scores 14, kept him afloat. And his improvement, man. I mean, he's always had the defense. His confidence from 3-point has skyrocketed. He's gotten so much quicker off the perimeter and ability to slash to the basket. He's generously 5'11", he's probably closer to 5'10". So every finish around the basket has to be an acrobatic one. I mean, he's got to get creative, yet he does get creative and he still finishes flawlessly more times than not. So he kept them afloat in the first half. Price elevated them in the second half, along with just great defense. They outscored, I wrote it down here. I think it was, 46-21. They outscored Minnesota in the second half. And Fred Hoiberg has always been interesting talking about Fred Hoiberg because he's never gotten the results up until a couple of years ago that you expected him to get. Not only just not at Nebraska did he not get the results initially, he didn't get the results in the NBA either. I mean, I think a lot of people thought that when the Bulls made that hire to bring Hoiberg to Chicago, that was, wow, what a hire. What a this is cutting edge. This is you're getting ahead of the curve. This is smart. This is savvy. This guy's offense is going to translate perfectly into the NBA. He's going to be a long time coach in the association. And the fact that never worked out was more Gar Forman and John Paxson's fault than it was his fault, if we're being honest here. But he kind of went on this stretch where he just wasn't getting the results yet. What would everybody say about him? He's a good coach. He's a good coach. He's a great coach. You talk to anybody kind of in and around, like I remember talking to, you go to the Husker basketball games and you meet other media members, you meet people who are connected with the NCAA in what way. Like I met a guy who was the head of the referees for the Big Ten, at a Nebraska game and like exchanged numbers and talked about it with him. Great guy. You talk to those people and they're like, I love Fred Hoiberg. Fred Hoiberg's a great guy. And yet you're kind of watching there. You're like, I get he's a great guy. And I know everybody's telling me he's a great coach, but they're not winning. They're not winning. Like you can tell me he's all nice and he's great and he's an awesome coach and everything like that. But the record is the record. And for the first 4 years, the record wasn't there. Now the record is there. And now you are seeing why people thought about him like that, because his offense is so perfectly in tune for what this roster is built to do. And his defense is relentless. But then I feel like sometimes it's hard. Like we say, man, like you can see a guy being great on X's and O's. You can see a coach that's great at the game and drawing up the game and getting his guys in great positions. But you only really hear about, he's a great leader, because you can't be in the locker room because you're not there at practice, because you just don't have that access. You hear those things, but very rarely, very seldomly do we get those glaring examples of, hey, this guy gets it from a coaching perspective. He gets it from a player connection perspective. So they do these cinematic recaps for Nebraska basketball on social media after every game. And in this latest cinematic recap of Nebraska versus Minnesota, they actually dropped footage of Fred Hoiberg in the locker room and Fred Hoiberg talking to his guys. I had Josh, we have it ready here?
I do.
All right. Let's go ahead. Let's play. It's a 54-second clip. There's Sam Nate Lesnar is voiced in this clip as well. Go ahead and play it, because this is one of those examples of where you get to see the coach be the coach, right? We see it all the time with the X's and O's. You see how brilliant they are in the court. You only hear about them being great in the locker room. This is a great example of that with Fred Hoiberg.
Playing harder than us. Fix it! Wake up! We're lucky to be down 2 possessions right now. All right, get back to being us. Be us.
You think a team that's in this situation with them coming in with an undefeated team, you weren't going to get their best shot? Come on, man. They work too. They go to practice too. They have pride too.
Now, that's as bad a half as we played all year, okay? So let's get our poise back. Let's go out there and respond, okay? Let's respond. Let's act like we're a top 10 team. Okay, let's respond on the road here. We got to throw the first punch. We've done this all year long in the second half. Okay, all year long. We got to start this half with a stop. Let's start this half with a kill right away. Okay, right away. Let's go.
So credit to the Nebraska social media department for cutting all that up and putting that on Twitter, and then we grabbed that, we put it here. So shout out to them. They do an incredible job. Know some people who work over there. They're awesome, super creative. I love that. I loved every second of that because Fred, like, he gets intense on the sideline sometimes, but he can just seem like a very nice, unassuming dude. You know, like he doesn't give off like Pitino. You know, can get intense. You know, like you just see Rick Pitino and you're like, that guy yells in his locker room. You know, like you could. There's no doubt about it.
That guy's MF in his players.
Yeah, that guy's. You look at Izzo and you're like, there's no way that dude isn't screaming at dudes in the locker room. Fred doesn't really give that off. And I think it's credit to him, you know, like I'd probably rather not give it off than totally give it off. I would like people to think, oh, he's a nice guy, you know, he's a good dude, and then be intense in the locker room as opposed to the other way around. But that was great. I mean, that is a coach that I encourage you to go back and watch the cinematic recap on the Husker social media page. I think it's on the Husker basketball page, because you can see all the guys are staring at Coach Lesnar, and they're staring at Fred Hoiberg, and they're locked in, and they're soaking up that message, and they understand what they're saying, and they understand why they're saying it. And I think that's just a sign of great culture and a great team. The fact that your coach can walk into that locker room and show that intensity, and you respond in kind by outscoring your opponent by 25 points in the next half, that's good coaching. Like that is the example we talk about of, I can see how good he is in terms of X's and O's, but you can only hear and speculate how he is in the locker room. Him going ahead and challenging his team and being like, "Hey, MFers, what did you think was going to happen? You think they were just gonna, oh, Nebraska's here, they're top 10, they're undefeated, we're just gonna roll over? No, go and play. We got to play better, and we're lucky to be down only 6." I think that goes to just show more layers of the job that Fred Hoiberg has done this year, and he is unquestionably the favorite to win AP National Coach of the Year this season. He's done a phenomenal job, and I love that video from the social media team. The fact that that's just good coaching. That's just understanding what type of energy you have to bring and how your players are going to respond to it. And the type of energy he decided to bring was intensity. I'm going to be intense. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say, hey, we're fine. Hey, we're good. This is what we got to do. No, I'm going to tell you, what the F are you doing? And you got to be better. And his team soaked that in, nodded their head, and they kicked ass. They kicked ass in the second half. And that's what they've done all year. All year they've, kind of, if you want to point out one little flaw, there are moments where kind of in the tail half of that first half, they let up the gas a little bit. They've done that a couple of times this season. If you want to point out one real flaw, they've done that. But how many times have they come back in the second half and taken every punch and more, and then hand out even more damage to the other team? And they did that again against Minnesota. It was impressive. Hell of a victory. Big game tomorrow against Michigan. All righty. Coming on up here, we'll keep talking about the NFL. I got a fun little Mike McCarthy stat. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to show you it. And I'm going to take a victory lap because I deserve it. Here on Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
At Remodel Nebraska, we've been told that we're pretty good at what we do. But don't believe me, believe the customers.
After we gave a down payment to a sunroom company, they flat out dropped the ball. We contacted Remodel Nebraska. We met with Jack and we told him what we had been through. And he told us that he would work hard to earn our trust. So we
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt here on 1620 The Zone. Omaha men's basketball picked up a big win on Saturday on the road in Kansas City against the Kangaroos. I always forget something. You ever just forget, like, you're an AFC fan. Do you ever just forget that the Jaguars are in your division? I forgot about them.
But I understand that if you're listing all of the NFL teams, the ones you are going to forget reside in the AFC side.
Well, you know what? I was about to say, do you think of the Arizona Cardinals the way you think about the Kansas City Kangaroos? Because that's how I always forget the Cardinals exist. I always forget that the Cardinals exist. Because who cares?
What reason do they have for me to remember them?
Well, to be fair,
the onus is on them to be memorable.
If I was an Arizona Cardinal fan and I heard the Titan fan and Bear fan talking right now, I'd be pissed.
Okay,
I'd be like, what the hell are you? We were in the NFC Championship game about a decade ago. We were in the Super Bowl 15 years ago. One of the greatest Super Bowls of all time.
Titans were in the AFC Championship game like 5 years ago.
I know.
They had a halftime lead over the Kansas City Chiefs.
And then they fired that coach.
That's right. What's he doing now? I'll bet nothing. Oh, wait.
Oh, no. Our table. What happened to that meme? We need to do that, an in memoriam of memes.
Oh, okay. That could be kind of interesting.
That'd be a great crossover topic. Like, is there a meme that's dead that you wish wasn't?
Okay.
That's such
like
a
that.
crappy. That's such a crappy title. I'm good at a lot of things. Headlines never been my strong suit.
Some people still know how business gets done.
Ask Caleb Henry. He would have to write my headlines. He would have to write the title because he's like, I can't do this with you. This is terrible.
This is 3 sentences, sir.
Also, shout out Omaha softball. They were ranked number 5 in the D1 softball preseason mid-major polls today.
Hello.
So they were shout out Coach Mike Hurd, number 5 overall for Omaha, only behind Texas State and the Sun Belt, Grand Canyon, Liberty, and Florida Atlantic. So it should be a fun season for Omaha softball this year. Nebraska wrestling, unfortunately, it's one of those. It's just life in the Big Ten when it comes to wrestling. It's just you're going to face off against just high level teams week in and week out. Lost to Iowa 14-22, and then dropped their duel yesterday to Ohio State by 1 point. They're 6th right now in the AP poll. I assume, or 6th in the rankings. I assume that they're probably not going to drop too far because they, wrestled 2 of the best teams in the country and gave them everything they could. They have a pretty they go on the road to Penn State coming up, so that'll be no good, but or not no good, but tough for sure. But the Big Ten championships all the way in March, by the way, for wrestling. That just seems like March seems like a decade away to me.
March Madness.
God, there's that's my worry. I am getting so hyped and so excited for Nebraska basketball, but I'm like, we are so far away from when things start to matter.
Yeah, kind of.
We got to work on that, by the way. We have to look into whether or not your boy can get to the Big Ten championship game, and maybe we do a middays with Matt from the United.
I think you can hitch a ride with someone else who works there. I don't know who. I think someone's going.
Somebody's got to be going. I also do. I mean, the nice thing is though, it's Josh Hudson. I have Miles.
Miles,
dude. I love Miles. Not Miles Morales. He's cool. I mean,
I like Miles Morales.
That's a good comic book character. No, I have the credit card, the United card that gives you all the miles, and it gives you the United Club passes as well. Probably top 5 purchases I've made of my life.
Whoa. Okay.
That'd be a good crossover topic.
Top 5 purchases.
The top 5 purchases of your life.
House.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a big bill every month. I hate it.
I was about to say.
It's a lot of up.
Is that your favorite? Is that really your favorite? Typically, your favorite purchase gives you a lot of pleasure, not so much stress.
Yeah. No, it's not a top 5
There
purchase.
you go. There you go.
You've talked me out of it.
Probably the ring you gave your wife, or was that also too expensive? Be careful.
The place I bought it from, I went and paid them every month, and they never bothered to track that. Like my bill never got less. Like it was the same remaining amount, no matter how much I paid.
What?
And I'm like, hey, I've been paying for this thing for like a year, and it still says I owe the same
amount.
Am I getting any closer to having this thing paid off?
This sounds
like, well, this is the first payment we have record of you paying. And I'm like,
no.
Great.
Oh no. What happened?
They were able to find out that it had been rung up twice.
Okay.
And they were able to figure out,
all right,
okay, this is how much you've paid. We're good.
I got worried for you because I hate it. Like sometimes you'll overpay for something and then they go, we'll give you a credit.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't need a credit.
I don't need to buy any more jewelry. All right. I never buy jewelry. The only reason I bought jewelry is because in our society, we have to. Or I'd get dumped.
That's right.
Brian goes, please tell me I misheard you. Did he say a sport guy on the radio just say the score was 14-22?
You did.
Who
say
doesn't
that.
say the winning score first? I was just reading off the prompter. Okay.
Terrible prompter, right?
I might as well be Ron Burgundy.
I don't know who wrote that for you, but they should stop.
The Huskers website where they put the losing score first.
Huskers website?
Huskers.com.
Whoa. Get back to the J school and get off of whatever computer you're writing.
Whoa. By the way, shout out Phil Martelli, who was on the call for the Minnesota Nebraska game. Phil was so favorited toward Minnesota that I did a lot of really good numbers on my tweet. So thank you, Phil. He was not happy that Minnesota was losing that basketball game.
We love numbies.
He was so upset. It was crazy. I've never heard anything like it from you're supposed to be an impartial, color commentator. Right? He literally, okay.
Does he have ties to Minnesota that I don't remember?
He's from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
He was he was a longtime coach at Michigan, and he was He just really, really liked. Well, I'm trying to look here before somebody corrects me, but I don't know if Phil
I'm going to
Martelli,
plead ignorance.
I'm going to plead ignorant too.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay. So Minnesota's up by 6 going into the locker room. Phil Martelli goes, screw the halftime. Let's keep playing. He goes, let's just roll them out now. You only say that when you're like the team you want to win has the momentum. You're like, screw the break.
Yeah.
We want to keep playing. And then he was freaking out about the bar. And then somebody tweeted at me. They're like, he was way better in the second half. I wonder why. I wonder what happened in the second half that made Phil Martelli a little bit less excited that Minnesota wasn't winning the game. In fact, Minnesota was getting their asses kicked in the second half. And then it was great. He goes, they're walking off the court, and whoever the announcer was like, yeah, Nebraska, big game, against Michigan. They're going to be ready. And Phil Martelli goes, Minnesota's going to be ready too. They're going to be ready for their games. They're not going to give up. They prep so well. And then that was the broadcast. It was incredible. So, all righty. That was kind of our car wash there. Coming up next, no more football. Josh Hodson and I are going to try and figure out what the hell we're going to do without the pigskin getting thrown on Sundays here on Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Cross Strain Brewing Company, the official sponsor of One Beer Friday on 1620 The Zone, where beer is the
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
AP poll officially out. Nebraska basketball.
Come on.
5th.
Hey!
There is a top 5 team in Lincoln, Nebraska. My goodness. Tomorrow will be number 3 Michigan taking on number 5 Nebraska in Ann Arbor. Now,
a game not worthy of broadcast television.
Yeah, apparently that game will be on Peacock.
I don't know if they have a flex option, but you might want to flex that.
Thank God, though, that Peacock has great cameras, right?
Oh,
like thank God, though, that they actually have an awesome broadcasting apparatus in which their broadcasts are so much better than FS1 or Fox or like it is the quality of which like it's just so much clearer on the picture and the announcers are better. It's just everything about it is just better.
Every game is like the Super Bowl to them.
Which
they have that too.
If you're going to be the bad guy who's making people pay for subscription services to watch sports, which we weren't doing 5 days ago or 5 years ago, you're going to make people do that. At least have a great product, and they do. So credit to them. I give them a ton of kudos. But number 5, Nebraska basketball takes on number 3, Michigan tomorrow. UConn is ranked number 2. They got into a dogfight against Villanova. That was an awesome game to watch. That was at home too. They got into that dogfight. But number 1 rule about playing UConn: kill them in regulation. You're gonna beat them. You gotta beat them in 40 minutes because that's the second time now where a team was so close to upsetting UConn, and yet they let the game get to overtime, and then UConn dominates and ends up winning that one. Villanova, I'm gonna assume they're not ranked, but they are a very good basketball team, and so at this point, that's definitely Creighton's best win, and to do it on the road, that's only going to look better and better. So number 5, Nebraska basketball, which by the way, definitely has a path to being ranked number 1 this time next week.
Whoa.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah, Arizona's got a tough one tonight.
Arizona's got a tough one tonight. They're an underdog tonight against BYU.
You know, if Nebraska beats Michigan, there's another one.
And then you play Illinois, who let's go ahead and I don't think Illinois is going to be too far away because I'm only seeing that Nebraska was ranked.
Illinois is 9th.
Okay, so you go ahead and you're going to beat. Let's just play the fun hypothetical game. Nebraska's 3 results away from being the number 1 team in the country next Monday.
Hello.
They're an Arizona loss, a Michigan win, and an Illinois win away from that happening. Is that going to happen? Unlikely.
Unlikely, but
unlikely.
Fun to have these scenarios you've never had before.
Fun conversation to have. Like, I could see a world where Nebraska's 1 win away from being the number 1 team in the country.
Oh, you just think beating Michigan might be enough?
Well, I'll put it this way. I think there's definitely a world where Arizona loses tonight, Nebraska wins tomorrow against Michigan, and then you walk in, you play Illinois, and you're like, holy crap, you win this game. You're the number 1 team in the country. But I think that Illinois game is going to be so tight. I think that game is going to be so tough.
Okay, let's tinker with this a little further.
Go ahead.
Since we're here. Let's say Arizona and Duke lose tonight. Duke plays a ranked Louisville team at Cameron Indoor.
I think Mikal Brown, I believe, is playing tonight too.
Let's say both of those teams lose.
Okay.
Nebraska beats Michigan.
Okay.
And then on Saturday. Nebraska fans would be rooting for Creighton to win its pink out game against UConn so that Nebraska can be the number 1 ranked team in the country with another win, of course, in the week. But
that'd be wild though. So let's play let's keep playing this game, right? Okay. So Duke loses tonight, right? They'd be 18-2. So they're not going to, even if Nebraska beats Michigan, they're ranked over them. If Nebraska beats Michigan, then they'll go ahead and be 3, right? So then you have UConn. Let's say UConn loses to Creighton. That means Nebraska goes ahead and jumps to 2, and then Arizona loses to BYU. So just off of that, Nebraska beats Michigan, and all those things happen. Nebraska's number 1 in the country. But before you get there, they have to play Illinois at home. What happens if all of that occurs? Nebraska's sitting basically at number 1 heading into Sunday, and then they lose to Illinois.
Which would never happen.
Okay.
But if we're playing the game,
where do you go?
I would just keep it all the same.
Just keep that number 5. Yeah.
No way Gonzaga can go from 6 to number 1.
And then we'll go ahead and we'll just push Illinois up to 6. Just be like, all right, you get to be here. Which, by the way, this is why I'm glad basketball has all of these like Ken Palms and net rankings and all these numbers and analytics and statistics, because if Nebraska had Duke's logo and name, they'd be the number 2 team in the country right now.
Yeah, I would think there's a little bit of
There's no doubt.
There's some brand loyalty going on in the AP voting.
There's zero doubt that if Nebraska had began the year ranked or began the year, with their name being Duke, they would be number 2 because they're 12-0 in Q1 and Q2 wins. They're 6-0 in Q1 wins. Arizona should be the number 1 ranked team in the country. They're 8-0 in Q1 wins. They're currently Nebraska's 5th in the net ranking. Like, come on. They beat Illinois on the road. They beat Michigan State, the number 7 team at home. There's a whole slew of other, borderline tournament teams that they've beat. Like Nebraska's got the resume to be in the top 3, but because they didn't start there, right? Because they didn't start on anybody's radar, despite the fact they've won 20 games to begin the season, they're ranked number 5, which once again, glad we have a lot of numbers, to kind of get this all down to one number, right? And get them down into the proper bracket, as opposed to, hey, we're gonna go with vibes. Because that's what the AP poll kind of is sometimes. We're just vibing it. It's going off. Who won? Who lost? Who do we like? Who do we not like? All right, cool. AP poll. There we go. Print and tweet and get it out there immediately. By the way, some more housekeeping here. Nebraska softball, 11 days away from the season. Just creeping up on you. I think baseball's like 2 weeks.
That's when the Winter Olympics start.
Oh my God. Are you excited at all for the Winter Olympics?
I like the Olympics. I like the summer more than the winter, but
I would love to talk to somebody about that. Somebody who likes the Winter Olympics more than the Summer Olympics.
Okay.
Very an aristocrat, if you will.
Ooh.
We'll go to the phone lines here. I don't know if he's an aristocrat, but his team lost yesterday. It's Denver Broncos fan Eric. Eric, you're on the Prairie Flower Casino hotline, my man. How are you? Are you okay?
Yep, I'm doing just fine.
Okay.
I listen to your show all the time, bro. I love this show. It's a great show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Even though it's a young show, it's a great show. That's what matters.
Thank you.
And my Denver Broncos, hey, my defense didn't lose the game. I know that much.
No, they didn't. They did not.
Lost the game.
No.
My offense lost big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
And the weather did not help you here.
No, and I know everybody's going to say, if we had Bo Nick, all that good fun stuff. Hey, it's the NFL. Injuries happen. Okay.
Yep.
We live with it. We work with it. And Stidham just looked like he was nervous all day, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and
So, I mean, that's...
Go ahead.
Can't do anything about that.
No, you can't.
So, hey, I am rooting for Seattle, though, because I can't stand New England with a passion.
Fair enough.
But Seattle's defense, hey,
Yeah, I think Seattle's going to win it all. Thanks for the call, Eric. I really appreciate it. Eric in higher spirits than I thought. Good for him.
I don't even really think his quarterback was the problem, like I thought it would be over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, his quarterback wasn't great.
Sure.
His head coach making some decisions probably more important. But at the same,
it's almost like Sean Payton's an idiot.
At the same time, Jared Stidham not as bad as I thought it would be. Still not good is kind of the point to take away from there.
Hard to be good in the second half of that game.
I also just think New England's defense is just playing on an entirely different level. Like they were good coming into the year, but they have amped it up another notch in the playoffs, and that's why the defense is why they're in the Super Bowl. It's not it's not Drake May. Drake May has not had a good playoff run. I've already said it before. I'll say it again though. 55% completion percentage. Awful.
Stinky.
183 passing yards average. Terrible. 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not good enough. 15 sacks taken. Brutal. Yet, here they are. They're in the Super Bowl. 1 win away from hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Got to give credit to them. Talking about hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, that will be the final game of the NFL season. Okay? And then we will go 7 months, 7 long months without football. Josh Hodson, I have tasked you with helping me find things to do now that football is not on. I wrote a couple of things down, and I pretty quickly got hopeless.
Oh, no.
Okay? Because here's what I realized. Like, I can't add more sports. Like, there's not more sports for me to add.
Yeah, you've slid NASCAR into your Sundays,
Dude,
in the off season.
Like, the Daytona 500's in 3 weeks, and I'm very excited about it. This is weird. Okay, I even know that in 2 weeks it's the first 50-point race of the Kentucky Derby prep. All right, it's bad.
Yeah.
I got too much on my plate.
Okay, we can think of some things.
So now here's another thing, though. By the way, Ted Noffey, he's a Todd Pletcher horse. Really good horse. Really good horse.
That's a good horse, man.
Dude, that's such a good horse. No, the first 50 points race is on February 14th at the fairgrounds. Why I know that is stupid. Why I care doesn't make sense. Yet I do. I don't need more sports. I've also realized, though, I'm already in the joining clubs era of my life, which I think is too soon.
We'll get to the clubs. I want to pick at that.
Okay.
2026 is a special year in sports. We have an Olympics.
We do.
We have a World Cup.
I know.
So you could add a couple more sports.
I'm booked.
Okay. That's, if you feel that way, that's fine.
I'm like the Grinch, I got jazzercise at 5:30. I'm already watching rifle. I can't get more. Cross country skiing, though.
Cross country skiing,
dude, it's legit. It's a great sport to watch for the Olympics.
It's a terrible television.
Like 2:00 on NBC. They're just cross country. They're just skiing across the country. It's wild.
It's right there in the name.
Yeah.
What clubs are you?
Oh my God!
Like dart leagues.
So I'm in a dart league on Tuesdays.
Okay.
I'm in a golf league on Wednesdays, and now on
golf league meets year round.
I think Terry's got to send me the email, but I think it starts in April. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Terry's listening. Terry, send me the email.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Terry. The best. Tiburon Terry is what we call
Tiburon Terry. Love it. I love
and then
alliteration.
now I got drunk on Saturday, and I agreed to join a whiskey club on Sundays.
Okay.
That meets at 2:00. So now I'm part of that.
Right in the meat of the NASCAR.
I know. It's $50 a meeting.
Whoa.
I know, but you get a lot of really good whiskey selections.
Okay.
And you do a bottle exchange too.
Oh, okay. Good
but,
value.
But the thing is that now I'm already am I too early to that? Have I joined too many clubs as a 23-year-old?
I think you're probably too early to the I'm gonna sit here and drink whiskey part of my life.
That's a good point.
The recreational leagues seem like a person your age. That seems appropriate.
Okay. I'm glad I'm only really looking for your approval, for being honest.
Could I suggest love?
Whoa.
Just
fall in love with
fall
somebody?
in love and spend your evenings with that person. Cook for this person. They'll cook for you on occasion.
You don't think I'm trying? you don't think that's already been on the list?
Okay.
I'm going to be real with you, Josh Hodson. I'm a little offended that you think that football has stopped me from doing that.
I didn't know. I don't know your priorities.
It is a little tough though when a woman does text you and goes, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" And you go, "I'm watching football." Just watching the game.
Sure.
And then 4 days later, she texts you again and she goes, "What are you doing?" And you go, you wouldn't believe it, but I'm watching football. And this is a true story. Then it happened a third time.
Oh no. Did you tell the truth all 3 times?
Yes, I don't. All I do is tell the truth. This is
Okay.
how you know I haven't been in a relationship in a while.
Tell the truth.
That's a great movie, by the way. Concussion, Will Smith, very underrated. Anyway, you're men. Underrated line. She goes, "Do you do anything else?" And
Yeah.
I go, "Yeah, kind of."
Now, is this person trying to get you out of the house? And
She wants to go on a date, which is great.
okay, but you
Typically, it's
don't,
the other way
but
around.
You don't, which is fine. That's fine.
I do. I think we'll do it.
Oh, okay. Then can I ask what you're waiting for?
I'm just lazy.
Okay, that's fine if that's the answer.
I think I'm looking.
That's a good self scout.
I think I'm looking for the right date.
Okay.
I think I'm just looking to like commit to it. I'm the type of person that once I jump in the pool, the water's warm and I'm not coming out. But it takes a lot for me to jump into the pool. If you get if you're picking up when I'm dropping down.
I follow.
Okay. Do you have any other suggestions other than me finding a girlfriend to wait? By the way, we're talking about waste my time. So I don't want to waste my time on a woman.
There's okay, don't tell her that. Don't word it
No,
that way.
I'm not looking. I'm not going to go up there and him being like, "Hey, you're beautiful. I'd love to waste my time with you."
Waste my time.
Maybe some girls would find that attractive.
Some people,
I don't know what
I
they
don't
find
think
attractive.
that's possible. Some people in the YouTube chat are suggesting sand volleyball, like a sand volleyball.
No,
league.
you know what? I'm against that because
okay, interesting.
I'm
Good
anti.
place to meet women.
I'm anti the norm, and too many people in my life are like in the
Okay.
sand volleyball leagues.
Okay.
Too late.
Trust me.
Too late.
Trust me.
Too many people
I
are doing
understand
that
completely.
Too many people are doing that in my life.
I'm telling Nebraska media members to stop retweeting news because I've seen it so much.
Sure. No, I'm good. And also too, now that like I join, I'll be joining their thing, and then they'll think they're like an inherent expert, and stuff like that.
Hey, we
and
got
they'll-
Matt McMaster to join our thing.
Yeah, but then they'll start telling me how to play volleyball, and I'm like, I don't want that.
I'm not here to play volleyball. I'm here to drink beer and be outside.
My buddy Jack, who is a part of the sand volleyball team I'm referencing, is now in the chat telling me to join the team.
Oh, okay.
I know. I'm fine, Jack. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack.
Raby goes cigars and poker. I already do those things. I already smoke cigars and gamble money. Placat goes beers. That sounds like a Tuesday to me. Okay.
Now, what about beers makes it sound like a Tuesday? Just out of curiosity.
Placat has invited me out to Thursday beers before.
Thursday beers.
And I could do that. Alex calls me Matt McRed Flag. Mike goes, Matt, for the love of God, put in some effort.
Yeah.
That's the bit, though.
If you want to be with this woman, be with this woman.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if I want to.
Okay.
So that's
really only one way to find out if you want to be with her is to spend like an hour or two with her.
Yeah.
And decide.
I'm
if you would
aware
like
of what a date is.
You'd like to spend another hour or two with her.
Maybe I'm just afraid of commitment. Do you have any?
That seems like what it is.
Do you have any other suggestions, Josh Hodson?
Um,
Jesus, I gave you this prompt at 8:00 last night, and all you came up with was get a girlfriend.
You could be a big brother.
Oh, like volunteer, like
Yeah.
philanthropy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd be more attuned to that.
Yeah.
Okay, mark that. Write that down.
Okay.
Someone write that down. I'll write that down.
Maybe that should be your job.
Maybe look in.
This is going great. I love this.
Look into philanthropy.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be big brothers, big sisters, but a cause that's near and dear to your heart.
I did rappel down a building for the homeless people.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to give money. You can give your time.
I did get a lot of people to donate money.
There you go.
And then I never got invited back.
They're not. This is the last year they're doing it.
Is it?
Okay, so we make fun of people who listen to the radio because like, oh, they're only half listening.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm in the car and I'm listening to the radio, I'm only half listening. And I swear I heard a promo that said this is the final trek down the tower.
Oh, I want to do it
Yeah.
again. If you're listening out there, I love that the family that runs it, actually a very good family. They took me out to lunch one time. Shout out
Whoa.
Jay, great guy.
Shout out lunch.
Dude, there's nothing better than somebody buying you lunch.
I've heard.
I did it with
I've been
Mike.
here the last 5 years at lunch.
I haven't done it in a while with Michael Severe because it's my turn to buy. So it's
Classic Matt.
It's been delayed. He wants to go to Koji. I'm like, I gotta save up. I know you love it.
It's worth every penny.
I'm aware. I know. Okay. Look into philanthropy. Do you have any other? I thought you were going to offer up your kid, by the way, for when you said be a big brother. Be like, take care of my kid.
No,
be my nanny so I can go out with my wife.
You need to be out on a Saturday night. You don't need to.
You know what?
Be babysitting.
I
for
was
mom
with
and
a
dad.
buddy of mine, and it was 11 o'clock on Saturday. And he goes, "Do you want to hit the bars in Blackstone right now?" And you know what I said? No.
I had just left Blackstone.
No, I did not say that.
No, I had.
Oh, you really?
I
You
was
were
there Saturday.
Wow, we could have seen each other out.
We could have.
I said, no, I'm fine. That's never happened before.
Look at you.
I
You're
know.
growing up before our very eyes.
Let's go here. Mike goes, Matt, put in some reps. Even if she isn't the one, the date is practice.
Okay, there's something to that.
Here's the thing. I did that last year, and it was a lot of money.
Now, that's true.
Tickets to Georgetown versus Creighton weren't cheap.
I think you could probably get those for free now.
Thomas Sorber, though, had a really good game. Then he ended up getting drafted in the NBA. That was a cool part of that game. And then Ryan Kalkbrenner also got drafted from that game. There was a lot of NBA talent on that floor for quite no reason at all. Okay. So are we good? So
I think so.
Your suggestions have been look into philanthropy and find
love.
Find love. I wrote down.
I still think you can add more sports.
I go, WTF do I do now? I think I'm gonna read is what I wrote.
Reading is good. A hobby.
And then I started writing about horse racing.
It's an expensive hobby, but Legos. Are you a Lego guy?
I'm not a Lego guy.
Really? I would have bet you were.
Here's where. What does that mean?
I don't know. It's a vibe.
Okay. I realized, so I was looking at Legos, and a couple things went through my head. First off, I don't have the furniture to display the Legos properly.
Okay.
Because I more so want to display these Legos and be like, look at my work. I really don't have the apparatuses necessary to do that.
That's part of it for sure.
Secondly, I looked at the Legos and I go, okay, there's a line drawn in the sand. I have a hobby already that I spend money on, okay, that I enjoy and it brings me joy. And I realize I'm like, I probably, out of all the other money I'm spending right now, I probably can't afford to add this other hobby onto it, which is Legos, because that's expensive. The hobby I'm referring to is gambling. So it's either I give up gambling and I take that money that I spend doing that and I put it into Legos.
Bet free Mike, I know you're listening. Would you like to volunteer on this one?
I decided, look, I have a budget, just like I have a budget for gambling that I'm totally okay spending on. That budget would go to Legos. So would I rather bet on the ponies? Okay.
It's about to be pony season.
Dude, we're only 2 weeks away from me. I mean, I think they're running in the aqueduct today, though. Anyway, what I'm saying. Do I spend the money on the ponies or do I spend it on Legos? I've had this conversation with myself. I'm gonna go with the ponies.
I feel like that's a good rule, though. Only one money draining hobby.
Whiskey now is peeking its ugly head,
though. That'll drain
like
your wallet.
that is draining me. But it's so like when you learn how to taste whiskey, though, and it's not about getting intoxicated, and it's more so just about like learning the intricacies of it's so fascinating to me. Which now I've joined this club, and there's a clear leader of the club. Like he's the leader of the pack, and like he tasted a whiskey that I liked, and he goes, and everybody kind of stuck their noses up at me, and I was like, what is going on? What is this?
Oh no, disaster.
What is this Lord of the Flies BS happening at this whiskey bar? Because I said I liked somebody, but Big Mike didn't. It was ridiculous.
They say PD a whole bunch, and I don't quite know what PD means after all these
Look,
years.
I tried writing about what am I going to do for hobbies after football is done, and I immediately started looking up horse racing stuff. Okay, I have an issue. Now, here's one I did put at the bottom. You say you could get into more sports. Maybe this is the year I go full into being a part of the PGA Tour.
Oh.
Like I really become golf guy.
Okay.
Because
some of our audience would appreciate that.
Like I'm half foot in, half foot out. I feel like that would be probably the more likely thing to happen. Or I could watch more movies. That would probably be beneficial.
I would appreciate that.
See,
never had a host that I could talk to about that.
See, here's the problem though between Happer and I. Happer will just told you straight up, okay? I ain't watching movies. I ain't doing it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you that I would watch the movies and then not watch the movies.
Nah, don't do that.
I know.
It's okay.
Disappoint you even more.
Now, one thing I think you need to know about me.
Okay. Oh, great. Here we go.
I really enjoy being the guy that doesn't say, "Oh, you never see that? Oh my gosh, you're such an idiot.
I
How could
appreciate
you have
that.
never seen that?"
I appreciate that. Do you know who is like that? Josh Peterson.
Oh.
And it runs me up a freaking wall. And I think he's in the car right now. And Josh, if you're hearing this, it runs me up a wall when you go, "How did you not see that?
Up a wall.
Up a damn wall." We'll go to the text line. No, I'm not reading that. That's inappropriate. That is the first time I actually looked at the text line. I go, we're not going to run with that.
Ooh, text me that one.
J. Todd writes, join Jack Mitchell softball team. Can't make it any worse. Well, I'm here to tell you, Todd. I already did. I was an original member of the Jack Mitchell experience, and I decided to no longer be on that team. Aaron texted in. you are sports pilled, and that's coming from a man married where I'm thought of sports pilled. Just go on a date. If you don't want to go on a date, don't discuss how you're looking to go on a date. It's actually good advice there. I appreciate that. We have somebody on the line right now, and if they have a great topic, we're going to put them on. And we're going to go to a break because the segment has been way too long.
Guy had the audacity to ask us to talk about sports.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not like we talked
We're
about
talking about life.
It's not like we talked
life from February to August.
It's not like we talked about it for 2 hours leading up to this point. Sometimes we need break, guys, and so do you. We're going to hit one right here on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
You watched the Dabo Sweeney video over the weekend? Did you see that?
There was a Dabo video?
There was an 8.5-minute Dabo
Whoa, that sounds like my personal hell.
of him at a press conference, basically
spilling the beans on Pete Golding trying to tamper and get one of his players.
Okay, I saw the headlines. I
To
didn't
flip.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dabo just was reading text messages and just spilling the beans and telling everybody, yeah, this is what tampering is like. And, said at one point, if you tamper, I will turn you in. Very interesting from Dabo Sweeney. And the reason why I say this is funny because I think it was the days all meant together. I think it would have been, I believe now 2 weeks ago when Matt Rule was on Husker Sports Nightly and did his interview. And he was with Kyle Crooks, and Kyle brought up tampering, and Matt Rule goes, first off, it's not tampering. Well, he didn't. Sorry, I'm paraphrasing here. He didn't first off say it's not tampering. He goes, that's just how it is. He was just being like, tampering doesn't exist because that's all we do. Like that's all that's going on. Like tampering is a negative. It brings a negative connotation that it's illegal, but it's clear that tampering is not illegal because nobody's gotten punished for it. And so Rule was basically explaining like, that's just how the game is now. It's not necessarily that it's tampering. It's just negotiation, if anything. And so I'm not, by the way, disagreeing with that with Matt Rule. If no one is going to be punished for tampering, okay, then tamper. Then do it. If guys are tampering with your players and they're not being punished, you gotta do what's right for your program. You got to go and get the players. It's interesting to see one Power 5 head coach have the stance of, look, it is what it is. Like, that's the game that we play. That's what we have to do. And then you have Dabo Sweeney being like, nah. Nope. I'm going to go into a press conference. I'm going to bring my notes. I'm going to bring my text messages, and I'm going to expose, what I think is BS happening in college sports. And I'm going to turn you in. I'm going to try and do something about it. I don't think Matt Rule, by the way, is wrong. I'm not saying that for thinking the way that he thinks, but it's just interesting to kind of see in real time how two different head coaches deal with it. You have one who goes kind of part of the game, right? Until people start getting punished for it, you'd be a fool not to do the same things. And then you have another coach essentially being like, no. I don't care. You cannot do this. This is not allowed. I'm going to expose it. So,
one coach, it's their first off season in the portal. So they might not know how it works.
Are you talking about Dabo?
I am.
Okay. It's his second, actually. They actually did go into the portal last year. This is now last year he dipped his toe in it. This year he's taken a full head dive, which is credit to him. Another thing too. So a lot of viral videos have been going out about Colorado. It's that time of the year, It's the calendar year where we start getting all of these, Dion videos of like, oh yeah, hey, he's still the Colorado Buffaloes coach. I forgot about that. Did they get another Travis Hunter? What happened with that rumor? Oh, nope, didn't happen. But there came videos of his team meetings and whatnot and him setting standards, and he's fining his players now. Did you see this? So if you get various, monetary punishments if you're late to things, if you skip practices, if you're late to treatment, if you miss treatment, if you have a social media misconduct, if it gets out you're doing bad things and it's out in the open, you get fined for that. The fines vary from $400 to $5,000, which, okay, so this is how my mind works. I'm fine with it, by the way. Like, you guys, a lot of these guys are getting paid, right? This is, we always talk about NFL light, where, college football is moving closer to the NFL. Locker rooms are moving closer to the NFL because you have a lot of guys who are getting paid different amounts of money, and that's how the ecosystem works in the NFL as well. And what also works in the NFL is if you do something wrong, instead of, missing playing time, and that would be the main punishment for college sports, you pay a fine. Deion Sanders, who came from the NFL world, has decided, hey, this is how we're going to do it. Like, now you guys are making money. Now you guys are basically professionals. Now that, we're getting closer to having an NFL type culture, we're going to fine you like NFL teams were. And it would. And I'm sure he's saying to his coaches as well and his players as well, hey, I'm getting you ready for the NFL. I'm getting you ready for the league. This is how they do things in the league. I do wonder though. My mind immediately goes, is that prorated at all? Because if I'm a walk-on, and I get fined $400, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's a ton of money. Like $2,000. Holy crap, that's a lot. Like I'm on like the lowest tier NIL deal. Like I'm barely on the team. What do you mean? I made a bad social media post. I got to pay you $5,000. I don't have that money, coach. Like what happens when you can't pay your debt to Colorado? This has become like student loans.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. Where it's just like, all right, you got interest on it. We got to make a payment plan. Can you imagine having a payment plan to your own college football team? You happen to be like, yeah, I can pay. Sorry for the bad post, coach. I can pay you in 4 small payments of $1,250, which is kind of wild. But I'm sure though they had to find a middle ground, because if I'm making $1 million, a $1,200 fine it's not breaking the bank, if you will. So there you go. You want to do Coach A, Coach B, Coach C?
Oh, some blind resumes?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there anything bad? There's blind resumes are great.
I love a blind resume.
Okay. Blind resume number 1. This coach is 184 and 108 with a 63% win percentage. He is 10-10 in the playoffs and has won 1 Super Bowl. That is Coach A. Any guesses? 184, 108, 10-10 in the playoffs, 1 Super Bowl.
It's McCarthy.
No.
Okay.
Coach B, 174 and 112, 11-11 in the playoffs with 1 Super Bowl. Coach C, 193 and 114, 62% win percentage, 8-12 in the playoffs, 1 Super Bowl. So 3 coaches who have a win percentage of 61% or higher. One of them is 11-11 in the playoffs. The other one is 10-10 in the playoffs. And one of them is 8-12 in the playoffs. They've all won 1 Super Bowl. Coach A, 184 and 108, 10-10, one Super Bowl ring, is Sean Payton.
Okay.
Coach B, 174 and 112, 11-11 with 1 Super Bowl, is Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
And Coach C
Harbaugh
is 193, 114, 8-12 with 1 Super Bowl in the playoffs, is Mike Tomlin.
Oh, okay.
They're all the same. They're all the same guy. Just 2 of them have awesome PR.
Yeah. Wow.
Like Mike Tomlin and Sean Payton, we go, oh my God. Hell of ball coaches. Be lucky. Dude, those guys are going to get hired right away. Those guys.
The Broncos
awesome.
gave up stuff.
We're like
to get Sean Payton.
We're like, man, like Jarrett. This is what I said. I said this about Sean Payton. I said, if there was a coach who could scheme it up for them to win, there was a guy who could do it. It's Sean Payton. And yet, I, hand up, I'm guilty of this too. We look at Mike McCarthy and go, ha, fat.
Is it just his body type that makes us think he's a bad coach?
Josh Johnson, can you think of another reason? He's got the same resume as the 2 other guys we would no doubt put in the Hall of Fame. We look at Mike Tomlin and Sean Payton and go, Hall of Fame coaches. If you told somebody Mike McCarthy was a Hall of Fame coach, they'd be like,
you're an idiot.
No, I don't know if they go that far. I think a ball nowhere would think about it. But if I told you Sean Payton in the Hall of Fame?
Okay. What do you, Matt McMaster, think of these 3 coaches?
I think that they're all the same.
Well, obviously. But do you think they're good or bad?
I think they're all good.
Okay.
Do
you think they're all great?
At one point. Okay, great question. Sean Payton is great.
Okay.
Mike Tomlin was great.
Okay, I understand the distinction. I would agree.
Mike McCarthy has always been really, really good.
Okay.
I think very highly of Mike McCarthy. When there was rumors for him to be the Chicago Bears head coach, I actually said I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. The guy raises the floor. The guy goes and wins football games. The guy he's a good NFL coach. He knows how to handle a diva quarterback. He knows how to win with a really good quarterback. Now, were the defenses kind of the things that held Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers back a little bit? Absolutely. Could he have done a better job of allocating some resources and doing more with less on the offensive end? Probably. But he won 36 games in 3 seasons with the Cowboys. He people forget this. He won 4, he went to 3 straight, he had 3 straight playoff appearances with Dallas, and he won a playoff game. Like, he won a playoff game more recently than Mike Tomlin. I think he's really, really good. I don't know if you could have ever considered him great, though. I think Tomlin at one point we all were like, great. I think Sean Payton still is to this day great. But I think the point is that, like, we go ahead and we look at the Steelers hiring, go, oh my God, why would they do that? That's so funny. But I kind of look at it and I go, if you thought Mike Tomlin was a good coach, got to just hired another good coach. Now, I think people are more so looking at the ceiling. And I think that the opinion is that, okay, McCarthy's ceiling is not as high as Tomlin.
He's a floor raiser, Mike McCarthy.
And you're just not going to be convinced that Mike McCarthy can win another Super Bowl until he wins another Super Bowl, right? And I want to give credit to Tomlin here, and which is why I would say I put him in the was great at one point, was great. Tomlin has been able to win without a great quarterback. Like, Tomlin has been able to get to the playoffs with really bad QB play. I mean, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, like, not good stuff, guys. An old, cannot move, immobile Aaron Rodgers got to the playoffs. Mike McCarthy hasn't proven to be a good coach without having an elite quarterback.
Which is the part I find so weird about this hiring is that if we hire Mike McCarthy, we can get Aaron Rodgers to stay for another year.
Why?
Why do you want that? Why are you
move on?
Why are you leveraging everything for 1 year of Aaron Rodgers broke butt?
So here's another thing too. Mike Tomlin stepped down. Okay, he stepped down. So whether or not they were expecting this or not, whatever. But this was Mike Tomlin's decision, it seems like. I think a lot of people are like, okay, the Pittsburgh way would be, all right, we're going to hire a young, hip, new cat who's going to come in. This is going to be his franchise. We're going to guide him. We're going to steer him. We're going to put the future in him. And then he's going to grow to be this great head coach like we did with the other guys before him. But if you're looking at it like from that perspective, which a lot of people were, you go ahead and you're like, okay, that's weird. That's weird that they hired McCarthy. But if you're just going if you're looking at it from this perspective of just hire a good coach, just hire somebody who can get you wins, just hire somebody who is just going to keep you competitive in your division, just hire somebody that can, if you like what you're doing, just keep this thing moving, then McCarthy's actually a good hire. McCarthy's probably the best hire for that. He's probably the best hire left on the board. If you're wanting to make a hire for just continued relevance,
God,
right?
I just cannot imagine them. Hey, no, we're doing pretty good. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, well, they made the playoffs. I think
they were a doink away from not.
I think though, with the Steelers, what makes me concerned is that their defense cost so much money.
It does,
and it did not live up to the billing to how much it cost them. And they're just getting older is the problem. So that is the main point of concern if you're a Steelers fan. It's like,
TJ's lungs aren't getting any fuller.
Well, that was a crazy. That's talk about tough breaks and just scary things that happened as well. Jeez,
terrifying.
I never want acupuncture ever in my life after that. But if you're looking at it from this is what I expected the Steelers to do, and they hired Mike McCarthy. Oh yeah, make your jokes. Be like, what are you? Okay, nobody can stand up here and say, yeah, I think that Mike McCarthy's going to win with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike McCarthy's going to win a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think there's any work to be shown there other than that being a hunch and people laughing at you for saying it. But I don't think there's any doubt that the Steelers are going to make the playoffs with Mike McCarthy. I don't think there's any doubt that the Steelers are going to have relevance and some sort of success under Mike McCarthy. I don't doubt that at all. Mike McCarthy's a good coach. Mike McCarthy goes to places and wins. Mike McCarthy went to Dallas with Dak Prescott. They had awesome offenses. They fit perfectly into what Dak does, and they won 36 games in 3 seasons. Okay? He won so many games in Green Bay. He's a floor raiser. They will be relevant. They will make the playoffs. They will win games. Will they win the Super Bowl? No, they will not. And so that, I think, makes everybody look around and say, well, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the Mike McCarthy is a hire for, and I don't mean to, okay, how about this? Mike McCarthy is a hire for like the Dolphins. The Dolphins have not been.
Just want to get better.
The Dolphins have not been consistently good for years. They have not been relevant in the AFC East forever. They've been more of a laughingstock than they have been a respectable franchise. Mike McCarthy is a great hire for, hey, he's going to come in, he's going to set a culture, bad for 1 year, consistent for the next 3 years. Mike McCarthy for the Steelers is like, man, this guy weird.
Can I ask a question that I haven't seen a lot of places discuss? Did Mike Tomlin lose or decide he did not want to participate in a power struggle with Aaron Rodgers?
Great question. Probably. But Aaron did say, he was like, if Mike ain't here, I'm probably not going to be.
I mean, the reports are that he was sobbing in his locker room when Mike Tomlin retired. So maybe I'm mistaken, but
also too, like,
I'd like to ask the question.
It's not like McCarthy and Rodgers were like buddy at the end of everything. Like, now maybe they've reconciled since, but
Aaron Rodgers, famous reconciler.
Mike McCarthy's the only head coach I can think of that tried going on the media tour and it didn't really work. Like every other coach, even God,
it's because he's a little heavier.
Even Belichick went on the media tour and he became likable, right? You're telling me Mike McCarthy tried, he couldn't get it done. He had McAfee pushing a heavy sled. And he couldn't.
Ryan got those veneers. And
Seriously.
It seems fine on TV.
Now, Mike McCarthy did do the one thing that I said I haven't really seen before, which is get a third crack at being a head coach.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen a lot. He did it. Credit to Mike. Credit to us. We're good at radio, which is why we're bringing in Robin Washut to come in at 1:20 to talk about Nebraska basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're credit to us because we know how to get good people on our show. Nothing else.
We know the smart people, and we'll get them on a couple times throughout the show.
And Robin will make you smarter. That's coming up at 1:20. He's a part of our lineup, by the way, which is brought to you by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Make sure to email us at the Equitable Bank inbox. Equitable Bank. They take banking personally. Coming up next, we'll read some of your emails here on Middays with Matt.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control?
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Nebraska basketball ranked number 5 in the AP poll today. Top 5 for the Huskers after defeating Minnesota. They had some travel issues, like a lot of people did.
Oh, no.
Connor Sejan, the influencer. By the way, big fan of following Connor. And
Yeah, are
his
we
blog.
liking this?
You know what, Matt Rule?
Uh-oh.
Take a note from Connor Sejan. He's good at the social media thing. He's good at it. He's good. It's entertaining. They were delayed for a couple of hours. And they were just sitting in the barn for multiple hours.
Oh, yes.
After the game. Just like, I felt so bad for those guys. Headphones on the phone, trying to just waste time. Probably exhausted after playing a full game of basketball, just being like, I want to be in my bed. And then they go ahead and they have to sit there. And they eventually made it back to Minnesota, which we'll see. They'll be on. I'm assuming they're leaving today for the game tomorrow against Michigan in Ann Arbor. I don't believe Braden Frager will be traveling with the team to Ann Arbor.
Oh, I don't think you're right about that.
Is he traveling?
Fred has officially listed him as a game time decision.
So he has been practicing.
GTD.
He has been practicing. I think the main goal is get him for the Illinois game on Sunday. Is he traveling though? That would be very interesting. But he is. It seems like he's progressing pretty well and could be back sooner rather than later for the Huskers. Braden Frager, the redshirt freshman, has been the kind of breakout guy of the year. I mean, the surprise of the year. I mean, he's just been absolutely killing it. We talked about it last week. When he scores 15 or more points, Nebraska's winning by 20 a game. When he scores less than 15 points, they're only winning by 9 points a game. So he has made a massive impact. Softball news today. Congratulations to Omaha softball. They're number 5 in the preseason mid-major poll. Don't forget Nebraska softball. They start their season in 11 days. Nebraska wrestling had a couple close losses over the weekend, but still one of the best teams in the country. Hey, don't forget tomorrow though. Great basketball. Every game for them in the Big East is a big one, but they go ahead and play Marquette. Tomorrow, tip-off for that game is at 7, Josh Hodson, I believe, here on 1620 The Zone.
That sounds right.
I think Blue Jay shoot-around is at 6. No, tomorrow it's at 8:30.
8:30. An 8:30 tip. That'd be late.
That should be illegal.
In Milwaukee, yeah.
Worst Marquette team of my lifetime, by the way. Which actually... funny, like you get to the Big East and it's like, this is a really big game because you play UConn. You have to beat them, you know? And then you go, oh, this is a really big game because you play Marquette and they're terrible. And if you lose, you're done. So they play a big game tomorrow. All right.
Yeah, you definitely got to have it because, I mean, if you lose to them, woof.
Oh, my God. Here's breaking news. Sources. Browns QB Shedeur Sanders has been added to the Pro Bowl roster as a replacement.
I can't tell you how many different sources I had to look at before I believed that this was real.
This is a real one. This is from Jordan Schultz.
Yeah.
This is happening. Shedeur Sanders is the first 5th-round rookie to make a Pro Bowl since Puka Nacua. He wasn't good. I'm sorry. Am I overstepping here?
I don't think so.
To be a Pro Bowler, you have to be good. He wasn't. He wasn't bad.
Or you at least have to be mid enough that, hey, if the guy who's playing in the Super Bowl and the star quarterback who doesn't want to do this anymore, after they decline, you're the only one left. Somehow we got all the way down to Shedeur.
You got to go through 28 quarterbacks. All right? The guy didn't even start to begin the season. Did he even play he played 8 games this year. He started in 7 of them. He had a completion percentage of 56% with 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He had 3 more interceptions and touchdowns this year with a sub 60.
He had a QBR of 18.9.
Big Cat, who I love, quote tweeted, "This will be fun for the discourse." No, this discourse is simple. He's not good enough to be a Pro Bowler. Next. That's stupid. That's dumb. See, here's the thing. Mitch Trubisky was a Pro Bowler at the end of 2018, but at least and don't get me wrong, he didn't really deserve to be, but at least the Bears won 12 games and made it to the playoffs. And, he looked good while doing it, while riding the coattails of a defense. Shedeur Sanders just isn't good enough. All right. Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders.
I agree.
Is that going to be in the odd news?
I think it might be weirder than anything I got, but I mean, I got 3 for you.
We'll see how the odd news compares to Shedeur Sanders being in the Pro Bowl. That's coming up next here on Middays with Matt.
More of the newest and hottest slot machines.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Alrighty, Josh Odson. Let me tell you what, man. First off, I went to Frank Galiendo, man, on Saturday.
How was our funny friend Frank?
Let me tell you, what a show, man. What a show. Frank Galiendo, man, funny guy. I thought he was better than Adam Sandler.
I had heard some things about the Sandman and his recent show here.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was great. Okay. It's not like if you were expecting something, like if you, I don't know, I think people had maybe some more vanilla expectations as to what it would be, and it wasn't vanilla at all. It was very different than what you would expect. It was just kind of off the wall. I love that type of comedy, but I can kind of understand if you were walking in somewhere, if you're walking into the Chai and you were like, all right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to have a good old classic comedy show. And you were expecting that, and then you got what you got, you'd be like, "Meh, that wasn't really what I like." That's kind of how I see it. So, but yeah, Frank was awesome. Frank was incredible. All right, time for the odd news with Josh Odson. What do we got, my man?
Well, we go across the river to our friends in Iowa. A lot of podcasts over there in Iowa, just like there are here in Nebraska.
There are.
Keith Murphy, co-host, that is, of the Iowa Everywhere Sports Talk podcast, Murph and Andy. You're familiar with this, I bet.
No.
Do you listen to Murph and Andy at double speed?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Maybe Josh Peterson does.
Maybe. Well, Keith needed to. He's the Murph in Murph and Andy.
Okay, thank you.
He needed to use the restroom during Friday's live show, which turned into an unfortunate moment. He told Andy on the podcast, I'm going to step inside, relieve myself because I've had like 3 quarts of water and 2 electrolyte tablets to try to shake the dehydration of flying. Feels like an overshare there, but
okay.
Okay, it's your podcast. You do what you want. Well, Murphy's wireless mic was still on as he was in the restroom.
No.
And then the Andy of Murph and Andy said, I thought I heard him breathe there in the background. And he's like, he's like bracing himself for, oh no, I think his mic is still on. What are we about to hear? Does he have the mic on? The producer asked. And Andy responded, I think he might. I think his mic might be on. Second later, the toilet flushed loud and clear on the podcast, to which, okay, we can't hold it in anymore. We're going to laugh at this because it's a live podcast.
It is.
It's almost like radio, but not. Murph comes in and asks, did you get the toilet flushing? As he realized what terrible mistake he had made.
Whoa, I was bracing myself there. So it wasn't, he didn't like fart or anything like that?
It doesn't seem like, I don't have any record of him farting.
Okay.
So he kind of got out
unscathed.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible. If you if I had a hot mic when I went to the bathroom. Oh no. Oh,
you'd be Matt McFarter.
I would be. Oh, wait. It almost is as if somebody calls me that already. I love that nickname. So creative. Yes. So, okay. That's not that bad.
No, it could have been much worse. We go to Florida for story number 2, where a teenager, sadly, behind bars after striking her mother.
Okay.
With a pork chop.
Jesus.
During a domestic battery. Farrah Kernan, 18 years young, was arrested for battery following a disturbance last night at the Jensen Beach home she shares with her 46-year-old mother.
Yeah.
According to probable cause affidavits, Kernan's mother told cops that she had been in a verbal dispute with her daughter, who said she had been drinking alcohol earlier in the day. Now at 18, you shouldn't be drinking alcohol. Your mom's probably going to yell at you about that.
Yeah.
During the argument, the mom alleges the daughter smacked her in the face and threw a pork chop at her. Police on the scene observed obvious food residue on the victim's left shoulder, which was consistent with her statement, it reads.
Yep.
When questioned by the cops, the daughter appeared confused and began crying.
Why am I a psycho and I'm trying to think of what cut of the pork chop she threw at her?
Was it a whole pork chop?
Well, it was a bone in.
Yeah,
was it the little
probably
the
wasn't
fillets?
one of the lovely Iowa chops we can get here.
Also, too, some of the pork chops, when you have to throw them like a frisbee, they're kind of flat, right? So you can't. Also, too, I just feel like that's one of those disgusting meats to even hold in your hand. Like a pork chop can get slimy.
Yeah, it can.
I'm not a fan of that. Okay, so she balled it up and threw it. Yeah,
it does. I don't know how she picked it up and threw it. Just that she did throw it at her mother.
If you had to pick a weapon from the deli counter, what would you pick? That's like a slice of you had to pick a slice of meat to fight somebody with from the deli counter.
One of the big salamis, right?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. The big salami, probably.
Yeah.
I was thinking of going 2 8-ounce sirloins.
Okay.
And kind of like a dual wielding nunchuck action.
Maybe a tomahawk.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I thought of the tomahawk, but here's the problem. It'd be a little too heavy, wouldn't it? I mean, that'd be like wielding a 2-handed sword in Skyrim, right? You can only get, you can only hit so many times, right? You got to make sure that you're precise. If I can get the dual wielding sirloins, right? Bada bing, bada boom. I'm cooking with peanut oil.
I think so.
Like nunchucks. All right, what's our next story?
We go to
wait. Run 65 pairs goes pork chop. She was a beefing with her mother. That's a good one.
Thank you, TC.
Well, smack my face and throw me a pork chop. Nice job, Ken. All right, what's next?
Happening, whatever universe Sydney Sweeney lives in. Well, she snuck up an LA mountain a few days ago, climbed the iconic Hollywood sign, and laced the H with bras.
Okay.
And she might be in trouble with the law for doing so.
What is that, vandalism?
TMZ obtained the video
Oh,
of
God.
Sydney Sweeney scaling the H in the Hollywood sign
I have to see this.
with a handful of bras. A production team is filming as Sydney makes her way up under the cloak of darkness. They string a clothesline of bras around the H in the video. Lot of people saying, okay, what Super Bowl ad will this be? That's the camp I would find myself in as well.
Okay.
Many say it might be a video to promote the launch of her new lingerie line.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate.
Seems like a lot of people who don't wear bras might be interested in the Sydney Sweeney lingerie line. Jeff Bezos is an investor. Remember when she was invited to Jeff Bezos' wedding and we all thought it was weird last summer?
Yes, I do remember that.
Well, now there's an explanation to that.
That's a lot of
So
bras.
we're tying up a few loose ends here with the life of Sydney Sweeney.
Nice, tying up a few loose ends.
Yeah, she did get a permit to film here, but she did not have permission on the permit to touch or climb the Hollywood sign itself.
Oh, okay.
So this video now becomes evidence.
Yeah.
So we'll
This time the bras got in trouble for touching something.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder if Sydney Sweeney could get her way out of this ticket.
Yeah. What are the two things I could do or show you?
I don't know.
I have no idea, Sydney. You're good to go. That is I always when I think of when we talk about lingerie, this is my stupid mind. I always think of that scene in Hitch where the guy was like, yeah, I met her at a lingerie store, and Will Smith was like buying for another woman, and be like, why would a guy be at a lingerie store for? And then he goes, I was buying it for my mother.
Oh yes,
like that's a good one. That's very funny. Alrighty, that's the odd news from Josh Hodson. That will be a Super Bowl ad.
I think so. With Jeff Bezos being an investor, he can afford the
But
ad
why? Yeah,
space.
yeah. But why? Like, why do you? It doesn't look like it'd be a good ad of her just putting bras on a sign.
Look, I know this is going to be a point in our category for horniest show on 1620
Sure,
The Zone.
go ahead.
You got to put Sydney in the lingerie in the commercial.
Thank you.
Now
Thank you,
maybe
Josh.
that's a second part of the ad that I don't know about.
I just think
but
that's the whole part of the ad. Isn't that the point of the ad?
yeah. Seems like it would be. I mean, Victoria's Secret just shows you
I think
models wearing the lingerie, and it seems to have worked for them.
I think there are a lot of guys looking at the lingerie on the sign being like, I could undo all of that with one hand.
I could do it.
I could do it. I can get that done. All right.
I've never fumbled.
Sydney Sweeney, everybody. My favorite, obviously. Nope, I'm kidding. She says, I don't know. I have no opinions. Just strange.
Okay.
Just strange.
You think she's strange?
Well, I just don't like how she gets all these like top roles and she's so
Okay.
popular, but she's not good at acting. Like Kenneth goes, Ana de Armas clears. Here's the thing about Ana de Armas. She's gorgeous. She's also great at acting. She's a really good actor.
Is
she?
she?
Get out of here.
Is she,
What
Matt?
are you talking about? She was great in Knives Out. That one Affleck movie she did, she was good in too. She's very good. Stop it. She was good in Watch Dogs with Jonah and Teller. I know by Ana de Armas. You get out of here. You get out. I'm saying she's a good actress.
I'll reconsider.
In comparison to Sydney Sweeney.
Okay. Yeah. I'll meet you there for sure.
Sydney can't act. I'm just gonna say it. She can't act in movies.
A little wooden.
TV shows, pretty good. Euphoria. I've Spark Notes skit. I have YouTube Shorts skit. Pretty good in TV shows. Movies, get out of here. Movies she cannot do. She can't do movies. I had some important sport things to get to, and now I've just been distracted now.
That's
by
what Sydney Sweeney does.
Sydney Sweeney and her bras. Which, yes, you're totally right. Why would, if you have a lingerie line and Sydney Sweeney is your spokesperson, why does she need to climb letters and do anything other than?
I get
that
it.
would break the internet, by the way.
You're in the You're in the room with pitching a commercial. I guarantee you, first thing somebody said was, "Should we just have her in the bra?
Should we just have her?"
And
seriously.
somebody said, "No, we got to zag on this one, guys. It's too obvious. We got to do something
Okay,
different,
wait,
something bigger.
So I've gotten into this conversation with Michael Severe.
It's okay to do the obvious thing. Go ahead.
There you go. And that's the whole low-hanging fruit thing. There's a reason why it's low-hanging fruit. Yeah.
If you do it really well, it's fine to do the obvious thing.
It's the people who go, well, I'm going to KFC, but I'm not going to get the fried. I want to mix it up. Why would you mix it up at KFC? KFC does one thing great. The original recipe. Get the original recipe. It's a bra commercial with Sydney Sweeney. KYP, know your personnel. I say it all the time.
KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Yes, thank you. All right, so Rivals released their top 300 recruiting prospects. It's their brand new
Where does
list.
Sydney Sweeney rank?
Number 2. Quick little update here. So Nebraska has 2 guys who are ranked in the top 300. 174th is Claude Impuma from Mount Carmel Catholic over in Chicago, Illinois. And 191st on this list from the First Academy in Orlando, Florida, is Mr. Danny Odom. Odom dropped back majorly. He was originally ranked 101st. He goes all the way down to 191.
Whoa.
We go over here to Impuma. Impuma originally ranked 150th. He dropped to 174. Dylan Berriman is a prospect in the 2026 class that Nebraska is trying to get his services of at the very last minute. He was on campus not too long ago, and it seems like they're trending in the right direction to get him. He was originally ranked 211th, according to Rivals here on his latest profile. I can't find him on the top football recruits list. So I don't know if he's dropped or anything like that or where he's gone, but he's not on this top 300 list. He still is a 4-star prospect. Which is a big deal for Nebraska because they don't have too many of those in their 2026 recruiting class. Is there any other breaking? Oh, we had this good email here. I want to make a quick little point about Nebraska football before we get to Robin Washut, who's coming up here in a couple of minutes. So I got this email a little bit ago from John. Okay.
Hi, John.
And John goes, schedule. This is what I was talking about. The Big Ten schedule is going to drop tomorrow at 4:30. They're going to have a whole release show and make a whole big deal out of it. And we're going to find out in what order Nebraska is playing their very difficult scheduling. John writes in, it is an absolute joke that the schedule is a part of the conversation going into year 4 of rule. This got me thinking. It just adds to how disappointing 2025 was. 2026 should have been okay, with an easy schedule, they won 8 games, or they won 9 games. They showed a lot of promise. They had a lot of young players. This season, these guys are going to get better. They're going to improve. They're going to take the next steps. They have a lot of football now. They're an experienced group. They went from being super young to now they're getting to the point where they're old. Hey, you got objectively, from a merit-based perspective, a better coaching staff. Jeep Wade, Rob Orch. You have guys who fit your system, right? You have guys who are in tune with what you want to do. We should have been looking at 2026. Like, man, you get to play Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State. Those are going to be really tough, but they're going to give you a really good opportunity to prove that, hey, you've turned this around. That hey, you win. You just got to go 1-2. You win one of those games against one of those teams, Nebraska's back on the map. And you could convince yourself of like, hey, they won 9 games. They got a good future. They made jumps. They can make more jumps next year. And then bang, you lead it into these big games and you're like, hell yeah, we're probably going to lose against Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana. But you're in the back of your head, you're thinking, but what if we win? What if we turn the tide here? What if we finally get that ranked win? What if we finally put Nebraska back on the national scope of like, hey, things are going in the right direction? That's how we should have been looking at year 4 schedule. That's how we should be looking at it. But this year was such a failure, and it was a failure. And I'm not backing off of that. This year was such a failure that now, instead of looking at those 3 games as an opportunity, instead of looking at those 3 games as a, hey, this is a moment where you can turn the tide and get everybody being like, hey, look at Nebraska. Look what's happening in Lincoln. Look, Matt Rule's doing good things. Instead of you looking at it that way, we're now dreading those games. We're now like, oh, I don't even want to play them. What's the point in playing them?
It almost feels like you're starting over. What's a more succinct way to put that? Reset.
It's just, don't you dare call it a reset, by the way.
I know.
Don't you dare.
I know.
But it's one of those things where it's like, that's why 2025, in my mind, was such a failure. Because 2026 should have been like good vibes, you know? Hey, we were young, we won, we conquered some, we slayed some dragons that we haven't slayed in the past. We made a step. We went to a nice bowl game. We competed. We got better. A lot of the guys are coming back. A lot of the core guys are coming back. 2026 should have been the let's go. And hey, man, if we have a good season this year, wait till you see what class we're bringing in 2027. 2025 should have been the push of the snowball down the mountain. Now we look at 2026 as, can we just get over it? It's crazy. It's crazy just how much those last couple of weeks completely flipped how we look at next season, and honestly completely flipped how we look at the program. And so if you want to argue about, 7-5 compared to 6-7-6, and hey, they made improvements, and where was the program at, compared to Scott Frost, you can say all those things. I'll just tell you this right now. 2025 was a failure with that schedule that's completely unacceptable. And we cannot forgive those sins until they do something that they prove that they haven't done before. They're going to have ample opportunity to do that in 2026, but it's going to be an uphill battle to do it. So we'll be talking about it all the time on Middays with Matt from now until like 7 months. I have to wait 7 months for football. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, but coming up next, we're going to bring on Robert Washut from Husker Online to talk to us about the undefeated Nebraska Corn Husker basketball team here on 1620 The Zone.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
To make midday here on 1620 The Zone. It's a make midday on a Monday, which means that we bring in one of the best in the business from Husker Online and On3, covering the Nebraska, the undefeated 20-0 Nebraska Cornhuskers. It's Robin Washut. Robin, how are you, my man?
Doing well. How are you guys?
I'm great. Are you writing up an article right now after Fred Hoiberg's press conference?
Yep, just doing my quick little summary of the press conference and some newsy items, but mostly focused on just how daunting of a challenge Michigan is in pretty much every aspect, and the very fine line that Nebraska has to walk in order to not just compete in the game, but have a chance to win it. So there's a path, but Nebraska's going to have to do a lot of things right against this team in that environment with these types of stakes on the line.
Yeah, I mean, the Michigan team. If you don't know the name Yaxel Lendenborg yet, get ready to learn it. He's going to be a handful tomorrow for the Huskers to figure out. 10.5-point underdogs. The Huskers are on the road. If I told you, and maybe you're getting sick and tired of answering these questions, but I think it's one of those things where it's like it puts a good scope on it. Like if I told you back in November, from both sides, that the biggest game up until January 26th of the Big Ten conference season was going to be Nebraska versus Michigan, you would have thought what?
Yeah, I probably would have quickly dismissed that one. Not so much about Michigan being good, but nowhere in my wildest dreams did I ever see a top 5 undefeated 20-0 Nebraska team heading up to Ann Arbor for this game. So that changes the dynamic quite a bit. That I don't know if me or anyone else in the entire world probably expected this type of matchup brewing for January 27th.
So with Braden Frager, it seems like that you'll be a game time decision is what Fred said, if I'm not mistaken. Your kind of read on the situation, and is there any worry that they might be rushing him back a little bit too quickly? I mean, just I understand they need him for this game, but definitely looking at the long term, just kind of how is that all playing out right now for Frager and his road back after spraining his ankle?
Yeah, so it sounds like he's recovering about as well as anyone could have hoped, and he's back on the court doing some stuff already. Just less than a week removed from his injury, so that's encouraging. And the fact that it's even a question at this point certainly speaks well to his progress thus far. Fred did say it was a game time decision, but it's only a game time decision if he's actually there with the team in Ann Arbor for the game. Like, they leave here in a couple hours and they still hadn't made a determination if he's even going to travel with the team. So that is the first kind of hurdle that needs to happen first. And if he obviously doesn't fly with the team, he's obviously not going to play. So that we'll get some clarity, I'm sure, on that here soon. But I don't think that it would be a matter of rushing back. I think he's got to be like completely pain-free for them even to think about playing him. So as much as progress as he's made and how well he's recovered to this point, if he's not 100%, they're not going to throw him out there, because it's the biggest game Nebraska's played in a long, long time, as far as regular season games, and maybe one of the biggest ones ever. But the reality is it's just one game, and Nebraska has so much left on the table that they're not going to do anything for the sake of winning Tuesday night that could impact their success down the road, especially on into March and postseason play. So I would expect them to be cautious with Braden, despite how well he's recovered to this point. I don't think they're going to force the issue to get him out there before he's 100% ready, just because they know he's too important for everything that they do. And as big as this game would be, they can't push all the chips in with the risk of having even bigger issues if there's any setbacks by bringing him out there too early.
8 points, 3 of 11 from the field. He did play 33 minutes, talking about Rink Mast in his game against Minnesota. It's now, Robin, and I know they haven't needed him really, to play great, to win these games and win them by double digits, but it's not the third game in a row where Rink just doesn't look like kind of the all Big Ten guy we're accustomed to seeing from him. Is there any worry from you? Is it more so to do with what the flow of the game is like? I mean, what's your? I mean, should anyone be panicked by kind of the stretch of not so inspiring performances from Rink, or is it just kind of a part of the game?
Yeah, I mean, his shot's got to get better. He's going through a little bit of a funk that way.
Mm-hmm.
You look at his 3-point numbers. That's probably the real concern, just because you know how good of a shooter he can be and how good Nebraska is when he's hitting at that clip from behind the arc, and just how much that changes the entire game on both ends of the floor when teams have to start accounting for him. But yeah, he's basically since the Ohio State game, he's really been struggling to put the ball in the basket from deep. And so that, for Nebraska to have any chance on Tuesday, Rink has to be at his best. They need him to be all Big Ten Rink, especially with his shooting, because of how good Michigan's front court is. With Morrow, the big 7'2" or whatever guy that is as good a rim protector as there is in the conference, with the Axel, with Morris Johnson. Like, they can't allow Michigan to just pack the paint and be able to just make Nebraska one-dimensional. And so Rink hitting threes, especially at high volume, opens up the floor. It forces Michigan's bigs away from the basket, and gives obviously Nebraska one of its best scorers clicking at a high rate, and it opens up the entire floor for everybody else to operate around it. So probably as critical of an X factor as there is in this matchup, as far as I'm concerned. If Rink struggles and he's shooting, 1 of 6 from 3, or 1 of 7, or 2 of 8, or whatever it is, that's going to be a problem, because Nebraska's already shorthanded. And when the guy that you built this entire roster around isn't playing up to the level that he's capable, or at least shooting up to the level that he's capable, that puts you in a bad spot. Now, I will say, though he's not shooting, Rink's still playing well. I mean, he had 8 points, 6 boards, and he was plus 14 in that game against Minnesota. So, I mean, he still had a really positive effect on when he had 4 offensive rebounds, 3 assists. So, I mean, he's still doing all of the normal Rink things outside of his shooting. And I think it's just one of those deals, like with any shooter. You see the ball go in a couple times, and all of a sudden you get that groove back, and then you're off and running. But it's just, for the last 3 games, partly out of lack of volume, and then the other part of it is just he's going through a little bit of a funk.
Yeah,
he's got to snap out of that quick, for especially Tuesday night, for Nebraska to have a chance.
And we've had these comments before about, like, when you play good teams, and if you're going to beat good teams, your good players got to play good. Like your top guys got to be top guys. And they've played teams. Let's be frank, Minnesota, Oregon and Northwestern. None of them are making the tournament, right? So you can afford him to not perform at that level and still win those games handily. To your point, I mean, you're all on it, right? They can't afford that tomorrow. And another point too, you said Sprosker is really built around him, because the key to a Fred Hoiberg, a well-built Fred Hoiberg team, has always been that stretch 4, that stretch 5, right? Like George Niang, he shot 39% his senior year at Iowa State. Like when Fred was winning in Chicago very briefly, they were built around Nikola Mirotic, who was the 3-point, power forward. So Rink is, I mean, he's the straw that stirs the drink, and that's on the offensive end. On the defensive end, I would argue the straw that stirs the drink is Sam Hoiberg. Is Fred's greatest player development story his own son?
It has to be up there. For one, he's Fred's first and only 5th-year senior that has been in the program for all 5 years. So that puts him in his own category in itself. And so the development that's happened over those 5 years, I mean, he went from just kind of a walk-on that people thought had a roster spot because he's the coach's kid, and, just thought it was a little nepotism going on. Well, it turns out that he's developed into not just one of Nebraska's best players, but arguably one of the most important glue guys in the Big Ten and maybe in all of college basketball, because of everything that he does on the floor, with his defense, and now his shooting has been off the charts. He had 14 points in the first half against Minnesota. Without him, that 6-point lead or deficit at the break is a whole lot bigger. So he's been at his very best, without question, in his career as far as a shooting and scoring standpoint. But then all that he does, getting the ball to the right place, his understanding of the offense, and finding, that the shooters when they come open, and the anticipation and all that stuff. So like and oh, by the way, he's also their leading defensive rebounder at 6 foot tall. So I mean, there's really nothing that he doesn't do for Nebraska.
Yeah.
He's arguably the most critical player on this roster, who has been arguably one of the most consistent players on this roster. You always know what you're going to get from Sam. He's a tone setter. He's an energizer, and he's a big part, maybe as big as part of it as anybody on the roster for Nebraska to start this season. So yeah, I would say when you look at just development from where he was as a walk-on 5 years ago to where he is now, you're probably not going to find a much more drastic growth than Sam from year 1 to year 5.
And it's 6 foot. You and I both know that's pretty generous, for him.
It's very generous. 6 foot with big shoes on.
Yeah, very, very big shoes on. Like the type of shoes on you might go out to the bar with. But I'll finish up with this one, Robin, before we let you go here, because you got to get that article. I love writing your recaps on Hoiberg's press conference, and you guys do a great job of your preview articles too. With you guys have that great table where you kind of break down all the players. I want to tell you I appreciate that, because it's a bit of a cheat sheet for me looking at the next components. But I'll ask you a general one here. Big Ten, man. I mean, they have not won a NCAA tournament or national championship in the conference since 2000. They currently have 5 teams that are ranked in the top 12 in KenPom. Michigan at number 2, MSU at 4, Illinois at 6, Purdue at 9, Nebraska at 12. I'm going to give you a question here. Right now, to win the national championship, would you take the Big Ten or the field?
Good question, because I think that all of those teams that you mentioned are viable national title contenders, especially if Nebraska wins tomorrow night. I mean, you put them firmly in that discussion. I don't care what you think about them. Like that resume is undeniable. And so, that being said, you also got to kind of look at the reason why they haven't won in 25, 6 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it to do with the kind of conspiracy theory that Big Ten's officiating sets them up for failure in the postseason. They get refs that call games differently than Big Ten refs, which we all know are about as erratic and inconsistent as you're going to find. That they play a certain way because they're used to it, and then they have to adjust on the fly to the way that the game's called, and it changes their just production on the court. So maybe, I think from a talent standpoint, yeah, the Big Ten's as good as any conference in the league. It's probably the best conference in the league, and I would put their top group against any other conference's top group. But I always wonder in the back of my head, like, will the conference ever find a way to stay out of its own way with the way that their officials force their teams to play and what they allow compared to what other conference officials allow? Because you're not going to have a Big Ten crew come the NCAA tournament. And that has been, I think, a factor in why that drought has reached as long as it has far as the national title is concerned.
And Arizona and UConn look great. And Duke looks really good too. But I think that I think actually Duke is a team that teams in the Big Ten could guard. I don't know about Arizona. They're jumping out the gym. But Robin, I appreciate your insights as always. Look forward to this conversation every week. We will talk to you next week. Hopefully talking about the number 1 rated team in the country. That is a possibility. If Nebraska wins tomorrow and then wins Sunday, they will be the number 1 team in the nation, which I don't think you and I would have ever thought in our wildest dreams we'd even get to the point where that's a possibility. But here we are. God bless Fred Hoiberg. God bless you, Robin Washington.
Well, thank you. And yes, I fully agree with you. If that happens and they win the next 2, they are undeniably, without question, the number 1 team in all of college basketball.
Whoa. What a world we live in. Robin Washington, thank you so much, my man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep, we'll see you later.
All right, from On3 and Husker Online, one of the best writers in the game. We're very thankful he gets to come on our show. And yeah, like you heard him right. When he was talking about those 5 teams in the Big Ten, he goes, all of them are viable national championship contenders. Nebraska's one of them. Buckle up, people. Buckle up. It's going to be a crazy week. And we are going to be covering it all here on Middays with Matt. We're going to wrap up the show here next on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Alrighty, we're coming to the end of the show. I am putting together a special dog of the day here. Okay,
Is this one that hits?
I'm crafting it up. We are 3-7 on dogs of the day. I have to do the math. So technically, we have bet $100. We should have I think we're down 2 units. 1 unit is $10. So I can. You know what I can do? I can make a graphic. I'm going to go ahead and do that. One of that, and I'll probably make an intro at some point. I have a special dog of the day, though. Very special one. But before we get that, what are we watching tonight, Josh Hodson?
We're going to watch some college basketball. Not a lot of games, but a few of them are worth watching. Number 23, Louisville. At number 5, Duke, 6 o'clock on ESPN. That is followed by number 1, Arizona on the road at number 13, BYU. That should actually be a pretty good game tonight. 8 o'clock, also on ESPN. On FS1 at 6 o'clock, it's Big Ten hoops.
Whoa!
Penn State at Ohio State.
Jesus. Okay.
It's the only other power matchup that I could find. 3 NBA games on Peacock tonight. One of these was supposed to be on NBC, but I guess there's news going on in the world, so they moved it to Peacock.
Oh,
we don't have to talk about that.
I don't know what's going on.
Magic Cavs, 6 o'clock. Trailblazers Celtics at 7 o'clock. And then at 8:30, it is Warriors Wolves. Hockey on NHL Network. Bruins Rangers at 6 o'clock tonight from Madison Square Garden. At 6 o'clock tonight on ACC Network, it is the 2026 ACC Football Schedule Release Show.
Jeez.
In prime time, baby.
No, thank you.
On ESPN2 at 8 o'clock, it is the 2026 Australian Open quarterfinals.
Okay, that might pique an interest.
Getting down to the nitty-gritty there down under. 7 o'clock on Fox, it is the season 24 premiere of American Idol.
Jeez.
Judges Luke Bryan, Lionel Richie, and Carrie Underwood welcome the newest class of hopefuls to Idol University in Nashville.
Yeah, no, thank you. If Randy Jackson ain't on there, I ain't watching it.
And finally tonight, we need to figure out what to rename these since they're no longer Connor Happer Classics. But within this time slot and this segment, people do want me to tell them that The Other Guys is on Paramount Network at 7:30 tonight.
You can still call them the Connor Happer Classics.
Okay.
Yeah, that's totally okay.
It's a Connor Happer Classic.
It's a Connor Happer Classic. That's transcendent across all of 1620 The Zone. Dog of the day. Woof.
Dogs are barking.
All right, we're going with a parlay.
A parlay? Oh no. Okay.
We've lost the plot already.
We have.
Plus 537.
Whoa. Okay.
Duke versus Louisville minus 8.5. Penn State versus Ohio State plus 11.5. Arizona at BYU money line. $10 will win you $53.70. Okay.
It's only crazy if we lose.
It's
right?
only stupid if we lose. So Duke minus 8.5, Penn State plus 11.5, Arizona money line. So if you wanted to fade me, because I know Black Cat does, you actually could get some cash.
It's been good business to fade the dog of the day.
Well, I don't know if you're making that much money if you're fading the dog of the day, because I do it properly, where I pick dogs. I'm supposed to lose. I pick dogs.
Oh, that's true.
I like dogs. Kind of. All right. Duke minus 8.5, Penn State plus 11.5, Arizona money line. Josh Odson, that was a good episode of Middays with Matt. We touched everything except the third rail. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow.
We got all week to do that.
We have all the time in the world to do that, my friend. The crossover with Unsportsmanlike Conduct is coming up next here on 1620 The Zone.